Hello, hello. All right. Um, Hi everyone. How is everyone? How is everyone? Hello, Champ for coming in at 6:34 sharp. And then hello, Eric. Hello, Eric. Thank you for redeeming first. And then Snorlax, hello, hello. Snizzle, thank you so much for the watch streak on a 5-stream watch streak. That's crazy. Hello, Delverton. Welcome, welcome. Cold Brew, hello. I couldn't stay for the rest of the stream last night. How long did the Spidey hate last? Oh, very long. Not actually, no, not too long. Not too long. And then hi Spidey, that's so funny. Happy birthday Eve to me. I'm frozen at work. Ooh, happy birthday soon. Happy birthday soon. We were hating on you yesterday. We were saying that you would in my tier list, my chat tier list, you'd be at the very bottom. If there's bottom, that'd be at the very, very bottom. Like very bottom. But happy birthday! Aaron's an F tier reserve only for Spidey. Don't worry, don't worry. Like I had Gary down there too, but he moved up a little bit. But yes, Excel out here exposing Aaron. Oh no, nothing to be exposed. I can proudly say it. I'm not hiding it. um all right. So let's see. And here I am about to send you some tea. What tea? What tea? Dude, that poor tea is like fire. I still drink it so much to the point that I had to Google yesterday. I was like, can I drink a lot of pu'er tea? What is a lot of pu'er tea? CT will be in 15 minutes. Sorry guys, it's gonna be you and me today for 15 minutes because CT has to deal with business. With business. Aaron's tier list isn't super secret. No, it really isn't. It really isn't. But if we limit our S tier and our SS tier, oh, that's gonna be really hard. Actually, no, I don't think I have that many people in my SS tier. Why my funny ass think he was about to give us some tea? Oh no. What do you mean CT shake? Pour tea for you. I don't know. We've got the good shit. We got the good shit. But yeah. Does being tier 3 bring us to S tier? No, you can't buy my love. Nope. That has nothing to do with my tier list. Definitely. I do have my favorites in the tier 3 though, for sure. Can we buy Spidey out of F tier? No. No. That thing is staying down there. Down in the gutter in F tier. Alright. I guess Chad is gonna make a tier list of just you and CT. CT S tier and Aaron F tier? Come on. I'm the one that makes it fun, really. Come on. 1,000 gifted subs and he moves up 1 level. You know what? I will pass that. If you give 1,000 gifted sub, I will unhappily put him up a little bit higher. I don't even think I was gonna have an E tier, but he can have an E tier. Hi, Bo. CT will be coming in like 15 minutes, but he says hello, basically. E for excellent. Lena, don't try me. Lena, don't try me. Don't do this to me. uh, anyways, guys, so CT and I fell asleep this morning really, really late. Actually, really early. So we slept at like 8 a.m.
No.
9 a.m.
10.
Oh, we slept at 10 a.m. when we had Chainsaw Man at 1 a.m. No, CT was doing business. Yeah. So we watched Chainsaw Man at 1 p.m. today because AMC does Tuesdays and Wednesdays now. Wednesdays too now, where it's 50% off. So it's like, why the fuck would I go on any other day except for Tuesday? So CT and I started yes, cold brew, unemployed activities. Chainsaw Man marathon. So I already had my Chainsaw Marathon on Saturday. I did all 12 episodes, watched all 12 episodes on because I never watched Chainsaw Man. I always thought that it just sounded really stupid to me. I'm like, what do you mean it's a man that's a chainsaw? What does that even mean? That sounds really stupid. And then I watched it with CT for a little bit. He was like, "Oh, like the movie critic the movie was really really good apparently." So it was like 100% on Rotten Tomato, and I was like, "Fuck, now I got to watch it." So CT was like, "Just watch it." So CT watched like 3 episodes with me, and then he fell asleep on Saturday. I watched until 8 in the morning on Saturday. Um Watched all 12 episodes straight, literally straight, raw dogged it, nothing, nothing in between, just straight Chainsaw Man. It was great. It was so good, it was so fucking good, so I was really happy. um but Aaron, Chainsaw Man is the Gooner gateway to culture, dude. It is fucking Gooner, it is Gooner fucking heaven. Like I was like, what the fuck is happening? But I can kind of understand what they're trying to do. I think Waffle said something about this yesterday. Where's Daddy at? I told you can't call him that. I joined to straight raw dogged it. Yeah. So yeah, we watched the movie today, and it was really good. It was very very good, very emotional. It was a lot more emotion than I thought. I thought it was just gonna be fight scene and then finished, but it was a lot more emotion than I thought. It was amazing. We didn't do the 4DX this time because we weren't about to get a one, an aneurysm, and two, our backs ripped off because we're over 30 now. We can't be doing this like Infinity Castle. Oh my god, I thought I'm pretty sure we had whiplash. Sorry, I watched him play chess yesterday. It's the only thing I can call him now. Guys, isn't that so attractive? Isn't that so attractive? I swear to God, whenever CT plays like chess like that, I'm like, that's my man. Um, but yeah, it was really good. And then the only thing that really fucking ruined it, guys, the thing that really fucking ruined the cinema for me, not the movie for me, was nothing about Chainsaw Man. It was about the guy who was sitting next to us. He was 2 spaces next to me, and there was like and like basically like it's 1 p.m. and like on a Tuesday, on a random Tuesday. So there weren't a lot of people. And I should have just moved, but I was like CT's I just didn't want to tell CT to move. But anyways, the guy who was like 2 seats next to me, you know those guys who like watch stuff and they're literally like something happens and they're like, "Oh my god, wow. She did that." He was literally laughing like that. He was laughing like that. And it was always on the Gooner shit. And so I knew what kind of viewer this was. I was like, this fucking cooner, only laughing at the cooner shit, the fucking pervert, man. And then not only that, guys, not only that, no. He stank like a whole ass fucking LGS, man. Why does he smell like a fucking LGS? It stank. It stank so bad. And I was like, no, I really didn't want to say this because I saw it in all of like the like Chainsaw Man movies comments. There everyone's like, "Oh, this cinema about to stink. The theater's about to stink." And I was like, that's so rude. Fuck, it stank. Oh my god, guys, that was so bad. I was like, everything was sour. You 100% should have moved, right? Aaron, it wasn't his first viewing. He didn't leave the theater since midnight release. He watching it till the employee kicked him out. Oh no! The good old zigzagooner. Maybe they were a Yu-Gi-Oh player. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. This dude was definitely a creature. He was definitely a creature. And I was like, oh my god, just take a fucking shower, man. Like, you're going to a public place. It's still a public place. Just take a fucking shower. And like, shut the fuck up. I actually considered it. I was like, okay, what are my options here? Tell him to shut the fuck up. Or tell him nicely, hey, don't say anything. I was like, hey, can you be a little quiet? I'm just trying to watch. Or number 3, tell me he stinks too. Or number 4, just move. And I did none of them. I did none of them because CT was falling asleep. He was too tired. And I just didn't have it in me to fight someone while CT was not in like a he was in a sleepy mood. His first time touching grass since Infinity Castle. Now I don't want to go watch it. Just don't watch it on an unemployed time. Cause like we're watching it at like fucking 1 p.m. Unemployed times. Very unemployed times. It's our fault, really. What's a shower? I don't know. But that guy was definitely not using 30-in-1 shampoo. Aaron, at least that's one of my redeemable points. I don't smell bad, right? The first time I met you did. Guys, the first time I met Spidey, it was in Vegas. And this guy, we're lining up, right? Lining up for a product. And this guy goes, oh my god, I just took a shit. Hello to you too. Remember you took a shit? You were like, oh, I was like so desperate to take a shit. Like, I really needed to go take a shit, so I took a shit, and then now the line's too long, and I'm like, hello to you too. Tell him to shut the fuck up. I should have. I really should have. CT deserves to watch Aaron go off. Nodders. I should have, but I didn't. Could have let CT vent his frustration on that guy. CT, did you smell that guy?
No.
You couldn't smell that stank?
No.
You were just literally sitting next to me. Okay, he couldn't smell it. Dude, like, because it was an AMC, so it was one of those, like, reclining chairs that I could have. So he was reclined. The dude was reclined. I was reclined, like, a little bit. I try not to recline too much because, it's not optimal for me. And then I, like, had to go, like, all the way back because I didn't want his stank blowing. I don't know what. So like sometimes it would smell perfectly fine, and then sometimes it would stink so bad. I genuinely think it was every time he moved, it smelled. Take a fucking shower, man. The poison gas knocked out CT. CT been too many card shows. He gained stank immunity. Oh my god, maybe it's because he stanks. That poor movie. See, no, my poor nose. My poor nose. Why are you going to the theater? Because I love going to the theater. 4D movie experience. It was a 4D experience that I didn't even want. No, guys, at that point, I would have rather smelled blood, like from Chainsaw Man, like blood, than his stank. Because Chainsaw Man's a very bloody movie. So I would have like rather had that 4D experience than that. Sucks for whoever sits there next. Oh yeah, and like so in America, y'all don't fucking clean your seats. In Hong Kong, guys, because of SARS, like due to SARS, Hong Kong sterilizes everything. Everything every 2 hours. Your elevators like will be sterilized every 2 hours. Your chairs for like theaters, they are sterilized every single time someone goes in and out. Like that is the cleanliness that I grew up with. America is a third world country. It is disgusting. They don't have common sense when it comes to like what is clean. Like it's so dirty here. Like every time I like go to the theater, I like and it's not one of those like leatherish chairs and it's like one of those like fabric chairs. Oh, that those clothing burned. They're going straight into the washing machine right away. I don't like movie theaters. I prefer to watch movies at home. I love movie theaters though. I just love it. I really love like the big screen. I love the like um the sound, and like as someone with like really bad eyesight, it's it's just really nice to see everything right there. But I guess the smell of a movie is not the best. I don't understand paying for movies. Oh my god. I need to go to Hong Kong. Yeah, it's great. At least it wasn't in Japan where you would have to sit next to him even through the credits. Man, disgusting. America's about to be a fourth world country. It feels like it already. Experiencing movies in a theater with people is fun, unless those people are smelly, etc. Yeah, exactly. Guys, one of the things I still remember to this day, like one of my favorite experiences in a theater was when I watched um oh my god. Oh my god. Marvel. The last one. What was it? Marvel. Guys, what is it called again? Endgame. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. So when I watched Endgame, that was like one of the best experiences that I've had in a theater because like I remember we were watching it. Oh, and then I marathoned the whole like Marvel movie before watching it. Like I had watched it before, but then I wanted to watch all of it before. So I watched everything leading up to the movie date, which was on the release date. So did that, went there. So you already have this like excitement, you know? And then um I'm gonna spoil it because you guys should have already watched it. If you guys haven't watched Endgame yet, like, what the fuck are you doing? So the movie part, the part where Captain America gets mirror, no, like the hammer shit. Holy shit, that was when like everyone started going, oh shit, and this was in New York. Everyone was like, oh my fucking god, blah, blah, and everyone went crazy. Even I was like, you know, and it's just such an incredible experience when it's like that. But when this like stinky ass dude is laying there on his like reclining chair and stinks, and then he's like, oh yeah, like to like the gooner shit, I'm like, man, I only got to watch AMC Dolby. See, I don't even do that. I just care. I just watch like the cheapest thing. I really don't care. AMC theaters, we make movies better. I went to BBQ Chicken for 10 days straight, dude. Why? It's good, but not that good. AMC theaters, we go bankrupt. Spicy Gobby slaps. They have at least 4 years because of Demon Slayer. Endgame, it hasn't showed up yet. AMC City Walk, IMAX 70 millimeter room. Seat G11, that's where Christopher Nolan sits. That's hilarious. There were teenage boys moaning during our Demon Slayer during our showing, but thankfully someone got them to stop. Oh, what the fuck? Are you serious? That's so weird. There's nothing to moan about in Demon Slayer. That movie had nothing to moan about. Super weird. Had that experience when I watched Get Out. Then when the cop car pulls out at the end and everyone's like, "Oh fuck!" and then it turns out to be his friend. Definitely top five movie theater going experience for me. Endgame for sure top two. Really, I didn't watch Get Out in the theaters, but I don't know if I could have handled it. Yeah, Endgame, I think number one. Like I love a lot of movies, but Endgame for me, like that experience, nothing will top that experience. Don't go. Someone took a giant piss during Demon Slayer. Oh yeah, someone did that. How was the movie? It was really good. It was very, very good. If you haven't watched it already, I highly suggest you guys watch it because oh my god, very filled with action. If anything, actually, I I actually was like hoping that at one point the action scene was too long. Like it was to the point where CT was very, very tired and CT fell asleep. Well, he was like kind of dozing off because he was like so tired and it was during the action scene because there's nothing really going on. It's just fighting, but there's no like plot. It's a fight. Like it was a little too long for me. I was like, yeah. My peak experience was first Harry Potter in the theaters. Dude, I never got that experience because my parents never took me to the theater. Uh, and the one time my dad was supposed to take me to the theater, it was actually we were supposed to watch Avatar together, and my dad got drunk the day before, and he was too hungover to watch Avatar with me, and I was so excited for that movie because it was like four. We were watching it in 4D, 4D, and my brother, my dad and I had planned it for over like a month. So it was the first time that I was going to watch it with my dad. I was excited about going to the theater with my dad, one, because I've never done that before. And then I was also excited because because Avatar was supposed to be a really good movie. And then it was also my first 4D experience, and my dad ruined it by getting hungover. So that was a very painful experience for me when I was younger. um, And then as for Harry Potter, I think my dad just never took me to theater. So my parents never took me, but my dad would always buy movies like the fake DVDs from Shenzhen. So we lived in Hong Kong, and my dad would go to Shenzhen a lot because he had work there, and he would buy all the movies because they're so cheap. So that was his way of kind of like watching movies with me. He wouldn't take me to the theaters, but he would watch like pirated movies with me. So we were watching that, um, and one of the movies was Harry Potter. But my dad would buy those things with me, but he wouldn't really spend time watching it with me. So I put the CD in the DVD player, and I played it, and I was so scared because I think I was like 7. I was like pretty young. I think I was 7 when it came out, and I was so scared because of the first scene, and I was watching it alone in the dark, and then I got so scared to the point that I was like, I don't want to watch this anymore. So I didn't get to finish Harry Potter. I didn't really watch Harry Potter until much later in my life, and then I became a Potterhead. Daddy issues. I don't really think I have daddy issues. My dad was still a great dad. He just has a drinking problem. But other than that, I wouldn't say that he has like issues. Best movie experience was Bug's Life in Oakland Grand Theater. It started with gunshots. Haven't seen it since. What the fuck? That is not a best experience. One of my childhood memories was when my dad skipped work one day and let my sister and I skip school to go to the movie theater. It was when I knew my dad was cool. That's so cute, Cool Brew. That's so cute. Imagine if Coconut supplied your dad with the DVDs. Oh my god, do not. Do not. My dad was nowhere near America. CPM. I told my dad I wanted magic cards, but he said we're gonna go to normal activities. And yet, here we are. Here we are, CPM. Here we are, CPM. Never want to do it again. Oh my god. That's fucked. It's because he didn't do TCG activities. Um, Now he sticks to cards. Very unnormal activity. Since you read this, read this,
What happened?
read this. What's that?
Apple juice? Yeah, it's piss in a cup. Cool, bro. I'm just drinking my piss right now. What kind of beer I'm drinking? The apple cider kind of beer, champ. The apple cider. This is Martinelli's, so the good shit. We don't drink the bad apple juice here. We only drink the good apple juice. So yeah, it's like I used to always call it the golden nectar. Martinelli is my favorite drink ever. Um, yeah,
That's the
Boyan
good
knows.
shit.
Boyan knows. That's the good stuff. Okay.
The good.
None of that like BS apple juice you get at the local store. This is the good stuff. You know, bruh. Mott's. Oh my
Are you
god.
reading it?
Oh, let me go read this real quick. Um, have you showed
Don't
them?
read it out loud.
Oh, okay. Mm. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's actually crazy. Guys, we just like read an article. What up, Domo? We won't talk about it, but um, let's just say that there's gonna be a lot of witch hunting going on Twitch these days, and there's probably be a lot more happening very soon. So pretty crazy stuff. um, okay, good night. Working 7 hours. I'll watch the vid later. All right, champ. Thank you. White tea, quick. Aaron spill his apple juice on him, bruh. If Aaron spills apple juice on me, barbecue,
Especially Martinelli's.
yeah,
Oh no, it's
y'all are
over.
cooked. You cannot waste Martinelli. A single drop of Martinelli is you can't do it, man. You literally can't do it. Yes, literally Salem Twitch trial CPM. Literally Salem Twitch trials. It's gonna be pretty bad. Let's just say there's gonna be a lot of people dropping nuclear warfare very soon. Um, we're kind of at like the early days of it, but it's gonna get a lot worse. Um, Genji is gonna be the world champs this year. I don't know. I don't know, Spidey. I will say though, Chovy's playing out of his damn mind. I think if they win, Chovy has to play at that level throughout every single game. Um, I don't think. I think his team is playing well, but I don't think people are playing on the level of Chovy's playing. He's actually playing like the absolute best player in the world, and I could confidently say that he's probably the best player in the world right now. Um, so if he continues that, yes, there's a good shot that they win. But if he chokes up against, the goat faker, another year could be in the books again where he just he chokes. But we'll see. So far, he's looking pretty good. He's looking pretty good. So um, let's be honest. Nobody cares that much. They're gonna boycott Twitch and use Kick. No, I don't. I don't think like people are going to like leave the platform barbecue in terms of like viewers. Because it's not like Kick is any better. It's the same problems on every platform. YouTube has problems too that I'm sure is not being addressed as well. Like all these platforms all have issues. Um, what I do think though is going to happen is that there will likely be a like CPM said. I wouldn't say it's like a great cleansing, but I would say there will be a cleansing of people kind of like idolizing slash like wanting to live like the streamer life. Like I think in general, um, the people that want to do like streaming as like a full time career, I think a lot of people are gonna be kind of like turned away from that. Um, Likely because of just the number of people just like really getting like not getting well received when they say, "Hey, I'm a so and so creator on this platform. I do these kinds of live streams and stuff." It's not like as sexy as it once was when I would say maybe when like Kai and like Ray and like Rakai were all blowing up, and in that era where every single person wanted to be like an IRL streamer, everyone wanted to, stream and do it for like a full time living. I think that like that dream is probably gonna get killed in a couple, maybe like the next 3 to 6 months. Obviously, what that does though is that the people who do stay the course and continue to put out great content, they're gonna grow extremely fast, in my opinion. Um, Largely because it won't be as saturated. I think people actually start to gravitate towards streams that actually provide value outside of just like harassment. There's a lot of streams right now where I feel like people are not necessarily providing like too much like value to viewers outside of just like monkey see monkey do things. And I think a lot of creators who do focus on trying to like educate and help individuals with their streams, I feel like those types of streams are going to perform much better, and you'll probably see a shift more towards that model. But I think like the days of like let me just fire up a stream to like cause havoc like in the city with an IRL stream, I think like that's going to change very quickly, and you're kind of already seeing it because at TwitchCon, people were like pretty upset with the amount of people just trying to like rage bait and like clip farm um, certain moments with some of the participants at the shows. So I think that will definitely change quite a bit in terms of the direction of what people are looking at on Twitch. I mean, you guys can feel free to chime in if you guys have any thoughts, but I think that's sort of where we're going to eventually be heading, is more so like emphasis on like high quality content creation and less so on just like riffraff. So you can't hurt Twitch any more than they already are. Amazon just laid off 30,000 employees.
Northern Lion is very educational for me. That's Eric's favorite
Yeah,
too.
that's Eric's favorite streamer, and I think this is really good for streamers like Northern Lion in the sense that people will begin to look at those types of streams even more so than they already are. Like Northern Lion's already a massive streamer, but even more so, though, people will really appreciate those streams even further, because they're providing so much education on top, and it makes a very like healthy environment for everyone to kind of come together. Um, I think that a lot of content in the more like recent months slash last year has been just not very productive for anyone. Sure, you can make money and get all like the ad revenue from having high viewership on like crazy ass streams, but I'm not saying like, it's wrong to do that or anything, but I do think that there will be sort of that shift because even I think YouTube already is moving more towards that direction. Like I don't think like the brain rot stuff is as prevalent on YouTube as it once was, largely because a lot of those people got funneled out with all different types of incidents, and it's moving more towards like platforms like TikTok and places like that. We'll see that, but YouTube is a very educational platform, and that's sort of why you have I think the most longevity on platforms like that when it comes to like content creation because people go there to learn. So that's my little take though in terms of the overall streaming slash like content creation landscape in general. I honestly don't really care too much for all the Twitch drama when a lot of it is going on in real life. Government shutdown, companies doing layoffs, etc. I just come here to get away from all that. Yep, 100%, Eric. I think there's a lot of things going on in the world, and like you kind of mentioned too, people are having a hard time, with jobs, finding jobs like new graduates. It's harder than ever, honestly, to find those opportunities, postgraduate. So really, for people like us, our job, like me and Aaron, is to ensure that all you guys are having a great time. You guys are learning, you know, enjoying it in a safe space where you don't have to deal with like the day to day of like all the garbage you have to deal with IRL, right? So, um, that's sort of like what we're here for. And then even today, like we're not gonna really be ripping today because our last Gundam product is probably gonna come tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Thursday. It's already arrived in SoCal, like thankfully. So it's here. It just needs to get to the actual physical location to pick up. Um, but in terms of like what we can do, like that's also why Aaron and I oscillate between like like ripping streams, educational streams like today. Like today we're going to be going over all the print runs that you'll see from whether it's like Pokemon, Bushy Road, Bandai. And again, it's not like hard set like this is the exact print run numbers because like no one knows that answer unless like you are like the CFO who has access to all that data. Unless you're that CFO, you will never know that information. But we can sort of hypothesize and see potentially what those numbers look like. And I have some data to back up why I think these numbers are maybe not accurate, but like they're as close to the truth as you probably could get to, essentially. So that's what I think. But a League of Legends player was next to you.
What?
Who? Her? Me?
What is he talking
I don't know. That's what Tisco said. There's a million people in Washington that are losing their food stamps by the 31st. The government's still shut down. Yes, it is a huge, huge problem, Spidey. It is a lot of stuff is going on, and unfortunately, we can't really control that.
The stinky part. That's not a League of Legends player. That's an LGS person.
LGS. We can't control that, but what we can do is just live every day and provide purpose, I guess. Yeah, today I learned not to go to the movie theater during unemployed hours. It is unless you like that LGS.
Did you hear him though? At least.
Yeah, I heard it. He was so annoying. He was actually so annoying. He was like laughing at like the most randomest emotion.
I
Actually, no.
told you it was the gooner shit.
Okay, it's the gooner shit. He's laughing at all the gooner shit when it wasn't funny.
Yeah.
It just like he just loved like when
he
like,
loves power. I know that.
yeah, he loved power. He loved when like Resi took her clothes off and shit. Like
It was
I won't go into details about obviously what happened in it because like I don't want to spoil anything.
Every time a girl was on the screen, he was like laughing.
Yeah. If you guys like nakey moments, might be your movie though. Just telling you guys right now.
That's
if you guys
crazy.
enjoy that,
It's such a gooner movie.
You guys might like that. So, no.
True gooners watch bootlegged online. Yeah, but you like it's the theater experience, not the.
I will say, even though I fell asleep at one point for a brief like couple
Show
minutes,
him AL2. I don't want to go close to him.
It was a very good movie. It was very good.
Sobble, I wish I could have just thrown like a business card at him and be like, yo, you like gooner shit? Come to our stream.
Come to the stream.
Don't go outside. Come to our stream.
Stream it up right now. Bro,
the guy next to me was also a stinker. Did you go during unemployed hours?
If you did, Waffle, I'm really sorry.
Nah, it's on you.
Maybe that's you. I don't like the horny girl. I prefer my girls without horn.
I went 11 p.m. Friday. Oh, no. Oh, no.
I love, though, how like, he literally says all the time that every girl he likes always tries to kill him. And he loves it. He loves the chase, man. That Denji is like the chat, dude. Like, you guys are complete gooners. Denji is like the chat. He loves chasing red flags. He loves all the red flags. Like, for you guys love red flags. Same with Denji. That man, like, literally bathes in chasing all of that. Like, he enjoys it so much.
Aaron and CT doing Lord's work and keeping gooners inside. Gift card for Old Spice or something. Just some shit.
Oh
then
my
talk.
God.
There are really any non-red flag women in CSM? No. They're all red flags.
They're all red flags. The least red flag is probably power. But that's weird to say.
Crazy.
That's weird to say that power is probably the least red flag. And in any other anime, she would be considered definitely a red flag. But in that universe, she is probably the least red flag of them all. I like my type.
She's not trying to do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's because of the cat, so I get it.
Yeah.
She wanted her cat back.
She wanted her kitty cat. But it is funny though.
I respect that.
Yeah, I mean, like, look at them now. They're like
besties.
They're like besties. Besto friendo. You like the white flags? Oh my goodness.
Like, you like giving up?
You like waving the flag? Oh, whoa. Okay, there are some clips that we're looking at right now we should probably not be showing, so we're watching from the side, but holy shit. Jesus Christ. Anyways, you should stop watching that. This is too much. No spoilers, but manga-wise, I like Part 2 of Chainsaw Man much better than Part 1. Stay tuned for the Pika Peak. Okay, is it more Gooner or less Gooner, Waffle? What's the sitch? More Gooner or less Gooner? Less? Okay, so it's more fighting then. Is the movie canon? I feel like it is. I'm not completely sure though, Cool Brew, but it's supposed to be one of the arcs in the manga, so I feel like it is, but if I'm wrong, then maybe I'm completely off. Oh yeah, it's 100% canon. Okay, perfect. Waffle knows better. So the movie is 100% canon. It does happen in the series. And I will say, all of you guys should watch that movie. Whether you want to be like barbecue and watch it online and watch on your favorite pirated site. I'm not saying I endorse it. I'm just saying if you guys watch that, do whatever you want to do. But what I will say is you should see it in the movies. It's actually a very good experience. Maybe go on one of those kind of days where, like, at the theater where it's like a percentage off, like 20% off day. It is a fantastic movie. So you guys should definitely watch it. Just surpassed $100 million in theater. Chainsaw Man peak. I would say so.
Hi, Wing.
Hey, Wing. Congratulations.
Nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
I just gotta sit down and read it. Yo, I finally finished the parts of Free Ren where, like, basically the parts of Free Ren on manga, with the series. Now I'm in part 2. Officially, I'm reading that part of the manga, so I'm really happy. And it's okay, Wing.
Yeah, you're good. But I'm glad you got a job, so congratulations.
I went to an IMAX showing and got my ears exploded so realistic and accurate. You're hearing for a good game.
Hmm.
Finally, I can spoil for you. No, 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 no. You can't spoil. Don't spoil.
What is Aver spoiling? The movie?
No, like Free Rent.
Oh, Free Ren. Oh, Free Ren.
I'm behind on a bunch of things because friends got me to play DNA. What's DNA?
Yeah. Huh?
Wing, I would stop talking right now. It's starting to sound really creepy. I'm the new
I
anime
would bring that up.
wireframe, do it Nightmare Abyss. Oh, what is that?
What is this?
I don't know.
Do it. Nightmare Abyss.
So, cardboard stuff. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's so cool.
Wait, that looks pretty sick. Is this the new gacha game?
Is it a new gacha game?
Is this the new gacha game? Is it what you've been playing, Chow?
Woo!
It is? Oh my god.
Oh.
Oh,
Rebecca!
Hello, Rebecca. It trapped one of my friends. Oh my goodness. Berenica. Truffle and... Oh god, it's a lolly.
Whoa!
Oh, hi, Sybil. Read more. Ooh. It's a dude.
Not a dude.
It's a dude. Damon. Diamond. Oh my goodness. I'm still loyal to Zenless Zone Zero though, not just Gunnar. I swear it's peak gameplay, interesting story. Meanwhile, like Waffles is like skipping all the gameplay, looking at all like the key scenes.
Do you get locked into the virtual world? Good question, Lena. Do you?
Yeah. Does this happen in the game? Oh. I see how you guys are talking to your girls, you know, in the game. It looks very good, though.
Customize your look with dyes.
It does look very good.
Free characters and weapons, all free.
Oh.
Swap between melee and ranged weapons.
Oh, you know who was playing this game? Iron Mouse was playing this last night. It looked really good, actually. I was like, what is this game? But Iron Mouse was playing this last night for like multiple hours. As Scar said it, how do their clothes stay on?
That's crazy.
You know, magic armor,
This is so cool.
magic cosmetics. You know how it is. Huh? Nandeska?
Okay, Rebecca.
Nanikore?
Let's learn about you, Rebecca.
Love is like water in perfume, which kisses and embraces each ingredient, devours and absorbs their fragrance, and eventually blends with them to create a long-lasting aroma.
But I thought perfume was made with alcohol, not water.
Hmm.
Am I wrong?
Are you playing spaghetti right now?
No.
Oh.
What is this game? It's called Do It Night Abyss.
It looked cool though. I did see gameplay yesterday from Iron Mouse, so I'm pretty sure if there's anyone to ask, it's Chow. Chow probably knows it's a good game. What up, Bo? Hello, hello.
Oh, let's put the musica on.
Oh, musica, and then turn off the Spotify. Okay, we're gonna see the trailer by Hero Games. Oh my god, bro. Which girl would you choose? Definitely
Oh,
not
she
the
has a
lolly.
pig! I want that one. I want the lolly with
You
the
want
pig.
the lolly with the pig?
I want the lolly with the pig.
Yo, get
Yeah, they're weapons change, right? Is that a dude? I don't want it. Wait, she's pretty.
I'd probably choose that chick.
Why?
Why?
Yeah,
She
why?
looks flashy.
Why?
Flashy flesh. Not her. No lollies. Whoa.
The one with the piggy.
Oh, that's the gotcha part, Chow said. The clothing.
Oh,
That's
so it's
kind of
just
a sick
skins.
skin. I'm not very many like army coming
Not yet.
yet. No yet.
Oh, it literally
Oh.
came out like
Came out
today.
today. Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh, so that means
Iron Man's
Iron
had, like,
Man's is
a
playing
early
early
access.
access, I guess. Yeah.
Does she ride the pig into battle like a mech? That's what I thought.
Sheesh.
You roll for skins. Hi, Eric.
What up, Eric?
Oh no, Eric was here.
Oh.
Why are you suddenly checking shop?
He wants to buy something, Aaron.
Is this another gotcha game? You know it fades. The costume's kind of lit. I kind of want to cosplay now. I can't wait.
Oy, oy,
I can't
oy.
wait.
Oy, oy, oy. Very, very interesting.
Yeah, this one. Look at the piggy.
The piggy piggies.
I heard the prank.
Did we tell them about the news too about product?
No, I didn't. I wanted you to say it.
Oh, okay. So
No lollies. But look at the piggy. Look at the piggy.
Not interested in no Tsunade boobas. Not big enough. Not big enough for fades. Too small. Opay, opay. But in regards to product, so I have a little update. If you guys don't know, I said this yesterday for Riftbound, we had our release day case reduced from a full case of 6 boxes down to 2, unfortunately. So I had to cancel the other 4 because they said, oh, we could wait for wave 2, but I don't know when that's gonna happen. So I'm not gonna bother waiting for wave 2. So I had to cancel those additional 4 boxes.
So it is confirmed that they do have wave 2 for
Yeah.
OP13.
No, this is for Riftbound.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah, I'm talking about Riftbound first.
Oh.
So for Riftbound, we will have 2 boxes, and we'll get more on opening day. Hopefully, I will figure out a way to try to get more product for that opening release day. So at least we have around a case worth. If not, we'll also let you guys know. But our goal is at least get a case worth for our opening day. Following next week is going to be also the release of OP13. And that's going to also be a very huge release because OP13 is probably the most broken set in One Piece's history outside of maybe OP05, and I would argue it's way better than OP09. So besides maybe OP05, this is probably the best set in One Piece's history. I already looked at the cards. There's at least 8 to 13 cards all over $100 a piece, and the top cards being in the thousands, like high thousands. So even if you don't like One Piece, this would be one of the kind of sets to chase, just because there's so much going for it, and it has God packs. So you can pull the Jujutsu Kaisen style art rare cards in there. That is done by the animation designer of Jujutsu Kaisen, and they did pieces for One Piece in this particular set. So it is going to be really crazy. The one caveat that I will say is that this is an anniversary set, like Chow said, so it's going to be super busted. But the thing is that one of my cases, I was actually on the phone earlier. That's why I was kind of missing for a little bit. One of our cases got moved. And what I mean by moved, I had to fight for it because initially they were just going to let us know, like, oh, you're going to get your OP13 case. Like the first one, the first wave will be fine. But the second case that we were supposed to have allocated for us got moved to wave 2. So there is 100% confirmation there will be 2 waves of OP13. Um, that will likely happen at either the end of November or middle of December. The thing is that I said, hey, I was promised that I was gonna get both cases in wave 1. I will not tolerate this. Like, I need to ensure that I get both cases, or we're gonna have a problem. So they couldn't confirm with me that they could get me both cases, but they did confirm I'd get one case. So what we end up doing was I said, hey, everyone wants EBO3, which is like the waifu slash Gunner set, you want to call it, whatever. It's like with all the OP waifus. They told me that that set is too far out to know their allocation, so they weren't sure if they wanted to give it to me. But I said, hey, if you're not gonna give me my refund on the money, I need this product. That is the only way it's gonna work.
Which is crazy that they weren't gonna give a refund.
Yeah, it's like if everyone wants the product, like why wouldn't you just refund the other case? I was like, people would easily buy that product. It's gonna be super hot, so I don't understand why you wouldn't want to refund it. Which is also probably the reason why they wanted me to keep that money, because they probably did know that when that wave 2 happens, it will not likely not be as desirable. So that's probably why this happened. And I said, hey, like Chow said, you've already messed up twice now, and I cannot tolerate any more like mishaps like this. So I literally said, hey, you must give me EBO3. And then they said, like, oh, let me talk to my boss, yada, yada, yada. But it's confirmed we are getting priority on EBO3. So instead of getting 2 cases from one source, it's just going to be 1 case. But we do have additional product coming in that release week as well. So we're going to be good. We're going to have around 2 cases worth. So I have 6 boxes from another source, 6 boxes from another source, and then the case from them. So it's going to be still equivalent to 2 cases instead of 3 cases, but that other case got pushed to EBO3, which will be really good for you guys because I know you guys will love that set. You guys like Weiss, you will love EBO3, and there's some banger cards in there. And I think that like for that set, you guys will go hog wild on getting EBO3.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
English.
A whole case, Waffle. So it will be a whole case of English EBO3. And like Chow said, the SPs are stupid insane. I think like the Nami and the Boa are like dumb expensive. If you actually go into TCG Republic, you can see them all. We'll show you guys the artwork for this set. It's so sick. Scroll down. Like, look at this. Sheesh! Like, look at the Robin.
Oh my god, I love the Dawns.
Yeah, like the gold Dons are super sick too. But like, look at like the Uta. You have the Uta manga, which is right in the front.
The mommy set.
Yes, this is the Dami Mommy set. Okay, you got Boa in the front up there. Go look at the top first. Top first. So you got Boa, you got Nami, you got Nico, you got Vivi, you got Uta, and then you got the Vin Smokes. So like, it's going to be a very good set. What up, Zitron? Maybe a bit related to OP since Aaron got the card signed by the JPVA. Going forward, Toei is enforcing copyright and not letting any Japanese VA sign One Piece merch, especially the trading cards. Interesting.
Really?
That's actually pretty wild. I will say, Waffle, there is one more event that's happening where the Japanese VA for Luffy is signing one last time. If you guys don't sign it then, you guys are probably cooked and you'll never have a JPVA of Luffy ever signed again. There is one additional signing that's happening later this year. It's in Japan, so you have to send it over to a company for it to get signed. But there is one Luffy signing of the JPVA, and if what Waffle's saying is true, that will probably be the last time it ever happens.
Child goes, Suki card's coming for a Japanese OP? No, OP TCG. Only one lolly, that's a good set. LOL.
Yeah.
Where's the one lolly? Her? Is
Koala
Koala
Koala.
lolly or
Perona?
Perona?
Koala, Perona, one of them.
Who's the lolly?
But this is going to be a banging set. It's sold out now, I believe. Like, not 100% sure. But even like the non-hits guys, like look how sick this is. You can get Yamato too. It's like all waifus. Like not to be weird or anything, but this is like every single like Gooner's dream. If you guys in chat don't open up the set, I don't know what to tell you because this is literally speaking your guys' language. It is 100% Gooner set, okay?
Same Tezu, I don't know.
Jewelry Bonnie, that's a kid, dude. No, we're not talking about Jewelry Bonnie, but everyone else is of age, okay? We got Boa, we got Nami, we got Robin. That's all you need. Just those three alone. That's all you need. And you got Uta, you know.
Oh, I have my
What?
boba.
Your
I saved
Boba?
it for this
Oh
stream.
my god. But yeah, you have this entire set. So we are guaranteed, or I shouldn't say guaranteed anymore because apparently that's not a thing. Guarantees don't exist in the current climate of TCG. It is very highly prioritized that we will get EBO3 and replace.
Hey, CT, should we tell them what happened last night after stream
What?
with David?
Oh my god. Do any of you guys follow David's IG after talking to him last night? So we were supposed
As in
to
Brown Eyes Yellow
as
Dragon.
in Brown Eyes Yellow Dragon. So we were supposed to do you know the estimate of when English EBO3 releases? End of February, like February 26th, I believe. I've been following Okay, so we were supposed to have dinner, if you guys remember. We were supposed to have dinner with Brown Eyes last night. And what ended up happening was that I told them, hey, we're gonna finish stream at this time. I'll meet you at BCD. We'll meet you at BCD and then call it a day, right? He's like, fantastic, great. So I text him right before we head out, hey, see you soon. See you in like 30 minutes, whatever, right? He's like, great. We get there. I don't see him. I was like, oh, maybe he's in the bathroom. We wait a couple minutes, doesn't come out. Okay, is there a guy with this name that placed the table put table reservations? They said no. So I was like, oh shit, maybe he's he's doing something. So I give him a call. It doesn't go straight to voicemail, but it just keeps on ringing. And I'm like, god damn it, he definitely fell asleep. So homeboy fell asleep. I said, whatever, it's not a problem. He fell asleep.
We just had BCD for
Yeah, we just
dinner.
had BCD for dinner. You know, it's still a good time. I'm not gonna complain. But then the next day, he like tells me, he goes, dude, I'm so freaking sorry that I missed it. Like yada yada yada. But you won't believe what happened. He goes, I put my car in the front, and granted, in the front, where he lives, I won't like say like the area and everything.
It doesn't matter. Just
Yeah.
fucking finish the story.
Okay. He basically, you can usually park the car there, no problem. But for whatever reason that day, they wanted to be assholes, and they towed his fucking car.
No,
They-
because he left it overnight.
Like, he left it overnight. Yeah.
So he can park there, but he's just not allowed to park overnight there. And he parked overnight there because he was planning to go to BCD with us.
Yeah. And because of that, he got towed, and he had to pay a $400 fine to get his car out of the towing company. He said it was the worst fucking experience ever. It was so bad. And it's all because he fell asleep. Because he fell asleep, he got ripped $400 fine for falling asleep. So it was pretty bad. Okay, people saw his story. Eric saw his story. Chow saw the story. It was not ideal. No, his phone was at home, but he just like he put his car in the front because he was gonna meet us. That's why he did that. And then he knocked out before he's supposed to meet up with us and have BCD.
Should have slept in the car.
At that point, barbecue probably should have. An
What
expensive
an expensive
nap.
nap. Yeah.
Well, there goes the ditto money from me, Kang, and Reed. All that ditto money just completely eviscerated. But that was like a funny little moment. Well, I mean, it wasn't funny for him because obviously that's pretty shitty.
It's funny for
But
us.
it was funny for us because I woke up to quite the stir. So I was like, oh shit.
Would they tow the car if he was in it? No, they
No,
probably
they would knock on his door and be like, "Yo,
get the fuck out."
yeah, get the fuck out, you know."
New Jersey sold for $2,000 on TCG Player.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to retain that price though, Tezu. I think that's sort of like a very like, how would you put this? A desperate play to buy the card. They usually on average sell around $1,000. That's like the
No, it's
typical
been
average.
no. So It's been selling for more than 1,000 at least.
Now?
It's been selling for at least 1.1 to 1.2
Oh.
because people said, "Oh, I'll buy it 900." No one's biting. No one is messaging them.
Definitely no post in that it is definitely pretty crazy to see like how much that card's going for, because
I think it's because no one's willing to let it go.
yeah, no one wants to sell it, and it's wild that we actually pulled that card twice on our stream now. Like, well, I'm gonna be completely honest, guys. Of those 5 cases, it's actually nuts that we were able to pull 3 of the best cards out of 5 cases. Anyone would die to have the cases that we had.
Look. Offering 900. Bump. No one. This was a day ago. This one, updated, blah, blah, blah. I'll pay more, 1K plus more money. And then someone PM'd.
You know what I don't understand? At that point, just open up the fucking case. Buy a case and open it up yourself. And just try for it.
And look, this one. One to buy, right? Before, so it wasn't whatever, and it said, change the post title, increased price.
Oh, God.
He had to increase the price in order, but then still no one messaged
Still
him.
no one wanted it?
Yeah.
Or no one to sell it?
Yeah.
I honestly think, like, it's actually really crazy, but with how, in my opinion, how cheap the cases are, you, like, if you're trying to chase this card and you have the money, just open up the case and see what happens. Because more often than not, you're gonna break even.
No, but what are the odds that you hit it though?
I mean, the odds are low, but the thing is that, like, you could sell that card and make more money.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's not only the New Jersey that's selling, but still, like, that would be the only thing that would make it really worth it.
Like, the problem is that people...
Such a nice card. Can we see it again?
Oh my God.
Go search it online.
Yeah, go search it online, barbecue. If you guys can't pull it, if you guys can't buy it and the product is still readily available, then just try to pull it at that point. Because usually I would say that's usually stupid, because the price to open up the product is usually too expensive for it to be free to try. But with this product, for whatever reason, all the SPs are pretty much selling. So at worst case, you usually can break close to even, maybe a little bit under if you're really unlucky. But from what I've seen, most people have been able to almost break even on like semi decent cases.
10 gifted subs to see it. Yeah, there is a wave 2.
Yeah. Well, it's not okay. So the wave 2 is a little different. It's unlike Nikkei where you order again. It's that order got cut, so it's getting reallocated again into that wave 2, they're calling it. So you're not reordering. It's just getting pushed back into that other secondary wave, which tells me that they already had the product. They just don't want to have it all at once. I don't know why.
So CT Gundam said too, Street Day was last weekend, but no one can find it for retail in San Diego. No one can find it for retail here too.
Yeah, no one can find it for retail. In fact, I personally wouldn't even try to find GDO2 for retail. It's just impossible. What I would recommend doing is, if you really want to rip it, like, and you can't wait, find whatever market is, and then if you can find a box that's like $10 or $15 less than market, that's probably the best you're gonna get. Because, like, from what I've been told, this set is just really brutal. I don't know why they structure. Okay, I do know why, but I think that it needs to be a little bit more of a healthy supply, because it's really a problem. Like, no one has access to product. I have to order from bumfuck nowhere to get product onto our stream, because all the local spots that I usually go to, they're completely cooked on their supply. They have no products available, and the ones that did, every single LGS I talked to on opening day said they sold out immediately. There is literally, it lasted maybe 2 hours, and because it was so bad, what they ended up doing was that they took off some of the boxes off the shelves and opened it up to make packs, because they felt so bad that there was literally no product available for anyone. They made packs, but for us, it doesn't make sense to go buy packs, because, like, we're trying to buy for all of you guys. But for the average individual that just wants to open up something, right? It's something, but they're still capped. A lot of the stores only allow between 4 to 6 packs being bought. So even if you had, like, a bunch of booster boxes, they still made it so that you couldn't buy a box, and it was just buying packs. So it was kind of rough. It honestly be rough. The Gundam Championship card is up for sale, 30K PSA 10 on eBay. Which one? Okay. Let's look at the link real quick. Opening hour for us lasted 10 minutes. Oh my god, Excel. That's actually insane. Okay, I'm gonna be completely honest. That's a listing price. This will not sell for 30 grand. I can say
His
that.
name is CB Flip. This thing is
Yeah.
not selling.
I can say with confidence this will not sell for 30,000. And if it does, oh my Jesus Christ! If this sells for 30 grand, that's a I don't know what to say at that point. But will it probably do well? Yeah, probably. It's the first one, so I don't know what the price will be, but 30,000 is definitely not what it's going to be.
It probably is Chibi or
Yeah.
less, but they're just listing it at 30K to see what.
They're trying to fish.
Yeah.
You know? So.
But they only have buy it now. They don't even have.
Oh. Yeah, they're gonna race to the bottom eventually. It happens with every Bandai game. Once there's enough product out there, it's a race to the bottom. What was pretty cool to see though, for you guys, so you understand what's happening at Riftbound, the Ari did sell. You should look at the Ari.
Oh, shitty.
Shitty. Ari signature. Yeah. And then go down to sold. Sold items. That's what it sold for. $13.45.
Bidded.
All the bids going up. This is a legit bid, by the way, guys.
Oh, they are all very legit.
Yeah, these are all legit bidders. These are not like, dumbass accounts where you're just shilling. These are actual real bids. Yeah. So this is not a shill bid auction. This is 100% as authentic as it probably gets, to be honest. So for perspective, I do think that people still don't really quite grasp how rare these cards are. When we go over print runs today, I'll actually explain sort of why I think this, and kind of give you like my thought process. But these cards, for the most desirable ones like Kaisa, Ari, all the popular ones, I believe over time will get really dumb expensive.
They could have bought like 3 Faker skins with that.
And I'll kind of go over the math behind it. You're wrong. There's Ari and non-Ari. Okay, I'm wrong. So my bad. My B. Okay, my B. I'll give you a little bit of a heads up in terms of what I'm seeing from the number of copies. If my math is right and I understand, like
according to my calculations.
According to my calculations, sir. There's likely going to be between 300 to 350 copies of each signature overnumbered card. Or it's a showcase card now, but the signature showcase cards. There's likely only going to be around 300 to 400 copies from the math that I've seen.
That's cute.
So if you think about it, those cards are pretty fucking rare. Like, they may not be like the absolute rarest of rarest cards, but
they're in English.
Yeah, this is in English. This is in English now, Tezu. And
the one that we were looking at just now was English. Well, this is English too.
That one just went up.
Yeah, it just started. But this is English.
Yeah.
They have a Chinese one.
The price will come down on release day. The price will come down because more will flood the market. But I think over time, a lot of people are not going to understand why these cards, I feel like if the game really pops off, it is going to be a very expensive card. I would argue that these cards are much rarer and harder to pull than a lot of the other cards you see like in Pokemon. And also the print run is also much tighter. So I think that these cards in the if it's done properly will actually be very, very desirable from a collector standpoint. And I've been kind of like looking very, very intensely at like other Facebook groups to see like what other signatures have been pulled. I have not seen very many. And usually when a new set comes out, people have like tons of pictures of like, I pulled X manga, I pulled X SAR. It's like everywhere. Like, everyone has like photos of all their hits already. And everyone's like, oh, it's just pre-release. Of course, it's not going to be that much out there. But you'd be surprised. There's actually quite a bit of mangas and SARs being pulled, whether it's Pokemon or One Piece, on release on sorry, not release, pre-release days. But for this product, I have not seen very many signature cards. I've seen a lot of the overnumbered where it's this without the signature on it, but in regards to the signature variants of it, I've only seen Volibear, Misfortune, one Ari, and I've seen one Lee Sin. I've only seen 4 listings of all the cards, and that there's 12 of them in the set, right? There's 12 of them in the set. I've only seen 4 listings of the 12 when it comes to the signature cards. So I do think that a lot of people are going to be sleeping on this, and that might be a good opportunity for you guys if you guys want to make some plays, because I personally will probably be making a play on this, just because I think that the ploys on this are really really bad. Um, but I'll go into that later today. So that's like with the Ari card alone. Aaron, what are you doing? Oh, what we can do too is we can kind of go over into like the print runs and sort of like how I like think about print runs. But let me set that up for you guys real quick. So in the meantime, feel free to talk amongst each other, but I need to set this up real quick. So I got all of the good stuff for you guys. So give me a second while I put that together. And the way that we're gonna look at this too, what up, Irving?
Hi, Irving.
The way we'll look at this too is that we're going to basically utilize Pokemon as a really good measure for how to essentially calculate any of this. Yes, there's actual math behind this, Sobble. So I'm going to explain why I did it this way and if it lines up with what I'm currently seeing in databases. So let's, for instance, take. Let me get this ready. And Aaron, if they say anything, just answer because I gotta set this up right now.
What do you guys want?
Wow.
Did you run the calculations through a TI-84 graphing calculator?
Oh, you know it, Cool Brew. No,
he uses literally his iPhone calculator.
I use my computer. My computer.
He only uses.
What are you trying to give up all my secrets for?
It's not a secret. The good old trusty iPhone calculator. CT is Asian enough?
Yeah, I do all the math in my head, guys. That's how smart I am.
No,
apparently.
he can't do
Big
math.
math.
No, he can't do math in his head. He
Big
really
math.
can't. Guys, also, do you guys have any plans for Halloween?
Yeah, what are you guys doing for Halloween?
How do you guys remember your calculators?
There's no way they do.
They literally look at them talking about the calculators.
Okay, in school though, you needed a TI-84. If you're really cool in school, you had a TI-89. That's
know.
where TI-89, you could actually play video games on your calculator. So all the rich kids in my school.
How is that allowed?
All the rich kids in my school.
Don't you guys have to have like a standardized calculator?
No, you're allowed to have up to a TI-89, and then in my last couple years, in high school, they banned the TI-89 because it was too powerful. Because you could create like all these different types of scripts and everything. You could literally put games inside the TI-89.
What?
84 plus was like probably the one that most people used, but the 89 was like.
Can you show me?
Yeah, like, I played Mario on the TI-89.
What?
So this is the TI-89.
Are you serious?
This is the calculator for the TI-89. This bad boy. So you could program in a section down below where they have games. And the 89 was literally so busted because you could store any information you wanted in notes and whatever. So they stopped allowing you to use the TI-89, and then they went to the TI-84. TI-84 was really strong too, but the 89 was just so good. It was actually like it was such a busted tool.
Yeah, this is what I used.
Look at this primitive shit right here.
This is what I used.
Aaron used some primitive Casio.
We were only allowed this.
This is
We were
the
not
primitive,
allowed any. Oh, actually, I
the
had.
caveman
I
calculator.
literally had this one and the other one.
Okay,
These
Aaron.
two.
Apparently, you're only allowed to use caveman calculators in Hong Kong.
Guys, the calculators you guys use allows cheating.
We get to have the big boy stuff.
They need less and can't do more.
We get to use the big boy stuff right here.
Yeah, but
the TI-84
you shouldn't be allowed to use that.
No. Okay, school is hard in the States. Okay, we need to get all the tools we can to make the big brain plays. I had the TI-84 in school, and uni is caveman calc.
USA Asians use our calculators for porn and games, not math. That's why we're the best. Is crazy. I had the TI-84 in school and uni and caveman calculator. I used an abacus. Dude, I want to learn how to use an abacus. We need to graph them equations. Did you actually use that function? Because we weren't even allowed to do that stuff. And now I don't care what graphing calculators you use, so now kids use like the most advanced ones that essentially just do the work for you. That's not math! When I was teaching chemistry, I didn't allow them to use TI-84s. Had to use the ones that Aaron used. You nerfed them. You nerfed them. Lie, cheat, and steal the pillars of American values.
Oh my god.
Oh, that's horrible. That's horrible. But sounds American enough. I just don't think that sounds about right. I'm just saying Desmos website is the GOAT and way better than any graphing calculator. I don't even know what that is. Y'all are such nerds. I don't know what.
Why are you calling everyone a nerd when you said how smart you guys were in Hong Kong?
They're smart. I was dumb. I was the international kid in Hong Kong.
Oh, so you were the dumb one.
Oh yeah, I was the dumb one for sure.
Okay. I see. Okay. Almost there.
Aaron, we know the Hong Kong Asians use their calculator for porn. Don't lie to us. They don't, though. I wish I could tell you that they do, but like most people in Hong Kong, they couldn't afford calculators. So it had to be, oh.
Hey, what's up? We're streaming right now. Business. Always business, apparently.
Imagine it's another allocation cut. They use their abacus for porn somehow instead. No. Is that the crack house, dude? No. Cardboard crack. No.
I wish it was the crack house. It's a different thing. Okay. So
CT would lose it. You would see live on stream CT lose it.
Lose what?
He didn't make that face. We are safe. Lol, Lena, you know his patterns now.
And he just called me too.
Who?
The person I'm supposed to meet up with.
Just now?
Yeah. Okay. So here is the math behind
the Ohio crack house. No. The crack house is here in California. Ohio doesn't have crack houses. They just have corn. To Ohio. Didn't they like ban porn in like the middle America or something?
Okay.
Cornhouse sounds wrong.
Okie dokie.
Just have corn.
corn. All right. So here comes the fun part. And maybe it's not as fun for you guys. I don't know.
It's not that fun.
Okay. I think it's fun because it explains why certain cards are either overvalued or undervalued, just based on looking at print runs and understanding the importance of it. Aaron doesn't give a flying fuck about this kind of stuff.
It's not that I don't give a fuck. It's just I'm sleepy.
Aaron doesn't like doing the big brain stuff. Okay, that's my job. My job is to basically provide all the provenance and reasoning behind why some cards are exponentially expensive and some cards are not too expensive, and then kind of where the in between is, right? And so
Aaron would rather watch you play chess.
Aaron likes to use her brain as least as possible.
Yeah, because you take up all my space. You're like, where's this? Where's that? What's this? What's that? Where is
It's using hardly any brain power.
Yeah,
okay?
but you
I use up like
you
almost.
ask it every fucking second.
I
You're
use
like,
up my
you're
brain.
like, where's this? Where's that? Every second.
I have
How
to
am I
use my
supposed to
brain
think?
all.
How am I supposed to think if like you are basically using my brain every second?
I have
like,
to.
you
I have
need
to
me for
use
this,
my
you need me
brain
for that, you
every
need me
second for the
this.
business. Okay. Okay, for the business. Okay. Anyways, now that that segment's over, in terms of Aaron going.
That's you.
Okay. Oh God, do you guys play League together?
We actually do.
Yeah, Snizzle. Sometimes we play League like this. It's actually
CT
really bad.
CT literally goes like, okay, dive, and I'm like, I'm a Soraka. I'm not diving. He's
I'm
like, why
fucking
did you take
dive.
it? Why
You're
did you
literally,
take it?
you're
Why did you
literally,
take it?
you're
You should
full
take
health.
it.
You're full health, and all I need is one auto, and you run away from the tower. You take 2 tower shots as a Soraka, and you run. That's all you have to do.
I can't take 2 tower shots.
I'm not a tank. I can't tower dive.
I'm not a tank. I stand by my words. I stand by it.
Literally every single time. I can't dive. I'm not playing like Leona.
Yeah.
That's what I said. Throw a banana. Do something, right? Just take 1 or 2 tower shots. I will do the rest. Okay. I go in. Nothing. I'm too scared to give an auto under tower. Oh.
Yeah, I'm too scared.
Have you watched any LCK or Worlds game? They're tower diving every single fight. Yep, sounds about right.
Is Aaron the one being boosted?
Oh, all the time.
I'm not being boosted. I carry myself.
She can't carry any fight because she doesn't know how to fight properly.
That's not true. Well, on Nami, I can. So
what up, Cloud?
In the other stuff,
The
I
Cloud's
can.
here.
Hi, Cloud.
Hey, I got your call. Okay. Let me answer right now.
All right. Can you go away then?
Okay.
Can you go away?
All right.
Don't talk too loud. That's crazy. I need to answer my Telegram. I'm sure Erin has her reason. That's why she's gold. Yeah. No, but I actually did. Get to gold myself. That's why I refuse to play solo duo with anyone. I play solo by myself. Like I only solo myself because I have apparently something to prove. But I will say I got better. I did get better these days. Yeah, I'm gold 3. Is it her reason she got boosted? No, I didn't get boosted. If anything, it was like if boosted is like, oh, someone coached me, then yeah. I like Sobel coached me. CT's a shitty coach. CT's a very shitty coach. But Sobel's a really good coach. Except for he's kind of mean. It means not boosted, she's playing solo. Solo polo. Same, I don't play League. Cool, bro, don't lie. I would be less mean if you listen. I do listen now. CT a player, not a teacher in League. That's true. You played so well for that 1 week.
Okay, back to your chair, you go.
No.
I gotta do the math.
No. They literally thought you were scripting. They did. They genuinely thought I was scripting.
Yeah.
And then it all went to shit. No. Someone just said I fell off pretty much, which is kind of true.
Oh.
Snizzle, I'm sorry to hear that. But
What a rough life.
It's okay. Too much air and bad for your brain.
Okay.
Sobel, how's chess? How's chess doing? Are you still only doing puzzles? Or are you doing other stuff?
Oh yeah. How is your adventure with puzzles?
Puzzles are so hard.
Okay, they always trick you in the beginning, Sobel. They're really easy, and then they get exponentially harder. And then it gets to the point where you're just like, what the hell's going on?
You changed the setting?
Oh, Jesus. He put it on like the hard
mode.
Meanwhile, Aaron's just like, I did it, guys. guys, I'm past wood 4 now. I'm at wood 5.
It's fun when I get it though, but
I will say puzzles are very rewarding when you do solve them. They're just like before you get there though, it's so frustrating if you don't even know where to look. There's some puzzles that are very tricky where if you don't know where you're looking, you're just sitting there just completely confused.
A TCG combo?
I mean, yeah, it pretty much is. It's like a string of ideas, right? And it's like you kind of take in like multiple different types of variables to make like the tactic work, right? Sometimes it might be like a skewer mixed with like a discovered check, and sometimes it could just be like, you know, a fork into like some sort of battery. Like there's different types of things that happen, but if you're not always aware of like which techniques to apply, it's not always easy. And then ones that don't require checkmates, that are also not necessarily as easy as just like I'm grabbing material, those ones are hard too. There's some puzzles where it's just like I have a massive positional advantage and I will squeeze the living crap out of you, and that's how you win games too. Where there's no material being taken, you just do a sequence of moves where the guy's basically stuck and can't play the game, and then you just keep on marching your king and doing whatever.
Do you play any games, Sobble? Or do you only play puzzles?
Yeah, like what's like your I guess like what's your go-to? But speaking of, so
Mostly puzzles, sometimes games. What's your elo now, huh? What's your elo now? I'm curious. Games I blunder too easily.
Is there like a notes?
1750? Wait, are you serious?
That's pretty good.
That's fucking good.
That's actually pretty good.
What the fuck? Why I lie? Okay, true. Why would you lie?
Yeah, why would he lie? Come on, Aaron. Come on, come on.
I'm in 4280. Don't even, Gary. Like, Gary,
no one.
sit this one out.
There's not a single person in any game that's 4280.
Sit this one out.
I think he hit the 0 by accident. That's a definite.
I think
lie.
he accidentally put the 8 in there.
That is a definite lie.
Hello, Tino. Hello.
Hello, Tino. Okay.
5280. Don't even. You're not there. You're not there. Guys, I was taking my little nap after Chainsaw Man movie, and Gary calls me. I'm like, fuck. Why is this guy calling me when I'm taking my nappies?
You were so mad.
I was mad.
And then why are you waking me up?
I'm like, what? And he's like, are you sleeping? I'm like,
why are you
yeah.
sleeping?
He's like, it's like 5:30 where you are, and I'm like, yeah.
Do tactics rating mean anything? Yes and no. It's nice to have, but it doesn't really mean much. The ratings that matter are like when you play against humans. That your actual elo, whether that's in blitz, bullet, standard, whatever, those ratings matter a lot more than your puzzle rating. I know there's a lot of guys that are really good at puzzle solving. They're just trash chess players. And I don't want to like, I don't know, like squander their thunder, but I will say the gap of an actual elo for playing the game versus puzzle solving can be pretty drastic. There's like players that are like maybe 2000, 2100 that are like 2700, 2800 in puzzle solving. But if you play a game against them, like they'll just get completely annihilated. So it's very different. Usually the puzzle ratings are typically quite inflated, is what I would say too. So it's not an accurate representation of what your actual rating would be if you were to play a game. So that's what I would say too, in terms of like trying to correlate the puzzle rating to like your gameplay rating. In puzzles, it's easy because you know how many moves to mate. In actual play, they never see it. Yep. Yeah. It's like basically playing chess on training wheels. That's what like puzzles are like. They're really hard puzzles, and this is when you get into like the more pro level. They don't tell you what your objective is in the puzzle. It could be like checkmate, it could be winning material, it could be like getting into a better like positional situation where they can't play the game anymore. Those kinds of puzzles get really difficult because you don't even know what the premise is, and they won't tell you either. They say, "Hey, solve the puzzle." That's what I used to do when I used to go and like go to like the US chess school. All the puzzles that I had were like, okay, here's an open canvas, figure out what you're thinking here. I just had a shower thought. Everybody says they hate lollies, but the same guys love Emiru, who likes the epitome of Jesus Christ
Huh?
barbecue.
What the?
Oh my god. Why did I read that?
Oh.
That's oh no.
Yeah, we did
Yeah,
hear
we
the
did. Yeah,
drama. We talked
we're
about it last night.
yeah. So we're not. Yeah, I don't think like Chibi said. I don't think that equates. That's a very bizarre
A few
thought.
days ago.
That's definitely
Yeah.
a shower thought that should have been left in barbecue's head.
You mean in the shower?
In
In
the
his shower.
in his shower world, you know. Some people, you know, want to let it out, and that's okay. But that's probably should have been a thought left in the shower. Yeah, we saw in the shower down the drain, please. Yes, like what Lena said.
Lena's not
Going
wrong
down the
there.
drain.
Some thoughts are inside thoughts, not,
Not
even
even
shower
shower
thoughts.
Imagine barbecue's like my bad.
Nah, he's not.
No,
He's like the last person.
He fully takes responsibility for all the things he says. Who's doing what in the shower?
Dawn.
Don, don't ask questions. Don't ask any questions. We're past that stage. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to bring up, barbecue is completely drained post shower. Oh, it's so bad. So for today's topic, we wanted to kind of cover print runs. And the reason why I think print runs and a lot of people should care about print runs is you want to essentially know what is how many cards are there and how many booster boxes are there, because a lot of you guys that quote unquote watch our channel, right? You guys are either buying, you know, singles to add to your collection. You guys are buying slabs. You guys are buying sealed product. And there's a good chunk of you guys who are actually looking more on like the investment side. And that's not always important, but I think it is important to understand how much product really is out there, so you can kind of have a grasp of how much has been ripped, how much you think is still out in the open. Um, I always say a healthy measure for a very old product is that usually anywhere between 10 to 15% of product is not ripped if it's like an older set, meaning that like it's like in the last like past the last 3 to 4 years typically. Usually 10 to 15% persist after all the product is opened up, and so that's always a good measure to kind of figure out like um, of the products opened up, how many is still out there, right?
I usually think the only boxes available in the world is the ones that you guys have. That's sweet,
Okay,
cool, bro. But we
you know,
have maybe 0.00001%.
So Cool Brew, that's the funny part. A lot of Pokemon in general too is perceived scarcity. Yes, the products are running out. Yes, there's less and less of them every single day. But there's a lot of people that have cases on cases on cases just sitting in their basement or sitting like in their closet. And that's also why it's important to know too, like how much of that is actually out there, and you can actually use math to kind of determine that. To all the LA residents, please stay safe. The Dodgers win the World Series. Celebration rights be real. Yes, 100% Excel. Thank you for saying that.
I never understood those celebrations.
But one of the really cool parts before getting into Pokemon is actually Flesh and Blood. And I actually don't collect Flesh and Blood. I don't think a lot of people on our channel collect Flesh and Blood outside of, I don't know if CPM collects Flesh and Blood, but maybe some of you guys do. The one cool part I learned about Flesh and Blood that I thought was really unique was that the devs actually give you guys updates regarding how much product is printed per set. And they start all the way from the Genesis set, which is like Welcome to Wraith, all the way to some of the more new sets. But what I found kind of cool is that Flesh and Blood is one of like the biggest TCGs outside of like, you know, your Pokemon, Gundam, One Piece, Weiss, whatever, right? It's like one of like the top basically like 10 TCGs essentially. And it actually gives you a pretty healthy amount in terms of what to expect for each print run. So for the first booster box that says Welcome to Wraith, which is the very first introduction of the Flesh and Blood product, it literally tells you there was a total of 16,700 booster boxes for the first set run. That's actually pretty tiny. If you actually think about how many products are out there, 16,700 booster boxes for the first run is a pretty tiny amount. Um, and you can imagine that when people first opened up this product, at least probably 90%, if not 95% of that product is completely eviscerated. So if you just take the math from that alone, you have 16,700 times 0.95. Or sorry, times 0.5 is what's left. You'd only have around 835 booster boxes left of first edition Welcome to Wraith. That's that's pretty fucking tiny supply, guys. If that's how many booster boxes is left of Welcome to Wraith or Welcome to Wrath, that's not a lot. Even if you do like 10%, which I don't think it is, because I think for a lot of these first sets, people rip open everything, so you need to open up the product to play. And also, Flesh and Blood was a player's game. It really wasn't a collector's game until a little bit later. Even at 10%, you're looking at only 1,670 booster boxes.
Is it a really playable game?
Yeah, people love it. So if you're into Magic, a lot of people play Flesh and Blood as well. It's kind of like the more, I guess, like modern view of Magic essentially. But you can see how a booster box can be pretty expensive when you only have this many boxes left in the wild. It is astronomically low if you think about it. Like, all it takes is for a couple gooners to just go ham on doing like a booster box break, and that number can instantly shrink to about hardly anything left out there. So this is important because people always ask like, oh, how many first ed base ed booster boxes do you think exist? And the answer that most people give that have been in the hobby and have either had a case or have had multiple booster boxes of first ed, base ed, and Pokemon, they think it's around a little bit right under 100 or a little bit over 100 that are currently left. And that kind of gives you an idea probably of what it initially started at and to where it is today. But it is really cool to see that this company with Flesh and Blood actually tells you the exact print run. And that's important because these numbers are going to matter a lot in terms of what is it going to look like for other sets. Because other TCGs. Because if this is what they're printing in total, so that was first ed. The unlimited was 248,000, which brought up to a total of 264,700 booster boxes printed in total existence for the very first set, including unlimited and first edition. That number you guys are definitely going to want to remember, because this is actually a pretty healthy barometer for smaller TCGs compared to Pokemon, like a Gundam, like a One Piece, like Riftbound. These kinds of numbers is already a ballpark range of how much the printer can physically print. Like, there's going to be a limitation towards how much product is printed based on the limitations of the available printers to print product. This number will become very important because I personally think I don't think Riftbound is printing more than this number for Origins. I really don't think it's possible that they're gonna make more booster boxes than this number right here. And I'll kind of go into like why I think that and everything. But the important part is that when we look at the Pokemon side, this one is actually pretty cool because Pokemon actually tells you how many total cards are printed with their Pokemon figures report. They said that there's over 75 billion cards printed since the existence of Pokemon. What PokeBeach does that's really nice is that they actually take the data from all the previous years, and it tells you the difference between 2020, 2024, and 2025. It's basically revealed that they printed 10.2 billion cards. That is a confirmed amount that there was 10.2 billion cards printed in the 2024, that's 2025 year, or whatever you want to call it, the fiscal year. That number is really nice to know because you can actually use that and cross compare what you're seeing in PSA and like BGS data reports and use that as a kind of a barometer for how much product you think actually is out there still, or how many cards of a particular set is currently out there. And so the reason why that's important is that I'll tie that in also into the pop reports because we'll look at basically the full art Umbreon VMAX. So we look at 215 right here. We'll look at the total pop report of the Umbreon VMAX, and we'll tie that in also to like the sets, and I'll get that in a second. So if we have a total of 10.2 for Pokemon, we have 10.2 billion cards. They say that there are 16 languages in 90 countries, is what they said on the report. I did a little bit more digging, and I asked and found out like basically how much of those 16 languages is English product. So how much of the 16 languages is English product? And they said that the range that people could find talking through multiple different production facilities, as well as people higher up like with Pokemon International, it was anywhere between 40 to 60% is how much English product is printed amongst the 10.2 billion cards. So what I did was I just took the medium and said, let's just assume 50% of the 10.2 billion cards is English product. And the reason why I think this is true is that amongst the 10.2 billion cards, you have basically English and Japanese being the by far the most primary. It's not even close, and English is still a much larger print run than Japanese. So that means amongst the other languages like Spanish, French, German, you name it, right? It is a infinitely tiny amount in comparison to English. So let's just say like English is like 50%, Japanese is like 45% or 40%, and then everything else is like 5 to 10%. That's a pretty healthy range to essentially estimate between, outside of the English and Japanese language, the other 14 languages probably anywhere between 5 to 10% of the entire cards produced. It's not like an accurate science in terms of like I know for sure that's right, but it's probably presumed somewhere in that range. So what you can do to basically find the estimation number of copies for a particular set is you can do a couple different things. So I wrote this down on notes, so I'll basically kind of give you guys how I do it. So you can do it a couple of different ways. To find the estimated number of copies, and I'll use the PSA and BGS data reports to kind of refer like why I think this is pretty accurate, or on more towards the accurate realm. Let's say of like a rare card, there are two methods. One,
CT hyper focused on finding them Gooner cards to resell, right?
I mean, it's also for you guys, so you guys can kind of utilize Pokemon as a barometer for all the other TCGs. Basically, Pokemon's going to produce way more than everyone else, but you can basically use the size of Pokemon's market cap compared to like a Bandai or a Bushiroad, and then you could tell right away like why these numbers add up or make sense. And for Bushiroad, it's actually even more accurate when I did this because I actually knew around how many cases are produced for each set in English. It's actually somewhere in the range of like 10,000 cases. Prior, I know this confirmation for sure. In 2020, before like the last like big set came for Hollow Live, the average print run for English products was 1,000 cases. So that's 1,000 times like 18 basically is how many booster boxes were in a case. That was like the average print run size for Weiss before 2020. Since then, it's ballooned more towards like the 10,000 cases. But I can tell you for sure, like this is as close you're gonna get in terms of numbers that you'll probably find at any other stream. So going back to there are two different methods. You can use.
I can picture CT on a conference call between a Saudi prince and a Bitcoin bro explaining to them waifu percentages.
It's funny though, Excel. A lot of people at the highest level collecting, they ask me all these questions. Like Aaron can attest for this too. They always ask me like, what are the pool percentages? What is the odds that someone else has XYZ card?
Always.
The most asked question I get when it comes to buying super high end cards, Excel, is who owns what cards, how many are out there, and what is the current like active market supply of these cards.
And the reason why they do that is that the top collectors, like the absolute best, they want to collect cards that no one else has. That's like the most optimal. So like one of ones, like very limited, like one of 50, one of 100 cards. You know, it doesn't have to be a serialized card, but you get the kind of the drift. The other side to that is that if they want a card that's not in that category, or let's say it's in that category, the even more intense collectors, they want cards that only are held by diamond handers. So they don't want to see flippers. They don't want to see any kind of individual that's used to kind of like selling cards to basically make a profit for something else. They don't want to see any of that kind of shit when it comes to the big cards because they use these cards essentially as a hedge, as an investment. um yeah, so like world championship cards are a big example.
They're not one of ones.
They're not one
though.
of ones, but like they are an example. They use these cards as a hedge to basically protect their assets, especially in times when it's very bearish. The one of the best investment strategies during a time when things are extremely bearish, and this is kind of getting more into like the economic side, is that you buy extremely scarce asset classes that no one else has access to, because if you own those assets, you can't say, hey, the market price is this when you're the only owner of that market. You control that market. And so that's what a lot of the really wealthy and really smart people end up doing. In very, very bearish markets where like there's a lot of turmoil, they try to put it in asset classes where they own the market. So once the market starts to kind of recalibrate, right, and go back in the right direction, um, they start pushing like that narrative forward. So um, there's definitely a lot more risk when it comes to like, you know, cardboard and stuff like that, Excel, and gold's obviously safer. But a lot of rich people that have like play money, they make these kinds of plays too because they see like the opportunity cost there. And so one of my buddies actually did the same thing with his investment. He could have bought gold, he could have bought stocks. He said fuck that. He bought all the rare sports cards and all like a lot of the biggest TCG cards. That strategy paid out massive dividends for him, like insane dividends in terms of like him being able to take that money he put in then and turn it into like a multi-million dollar position. So there is a lot of reasons why people do this. It's not just because like I love the hobby, yada yada yada. This is to kind of combine both the love of the hobby as well as thinking about numbers like in a more clear
Investment.
manner. Yeah, from the investment side. Um, but to go back to this, same with CS until they rug pulled. Yeah,
That's true too.
that's also why too diversification of your portfolio, guys, is very important. Um, like with CS, basically the entire high end market got completely cooked for the CS skins and all like the knives. I have heard really sad stories of some of those Chinese whales that have most of that supply. Some of them did commit suicide. It was talked a lot about in like a lot of the Chinese like WeChats and stuff like that. I won't go into that, but it is a very scary thing where when you park too much of your capital into one thing, if you get rug pulled, you're kind of cooked. So it is a very serious topic that, you know, we laugh on the surface, like, oh, like look, everyone just got completely cooked, right? But there's people who made a living selling like CS skins and selling like, you know, the CS knives and all the different types of special rarities. That was their business. So like I'm always very cognizant of when people like talk about these topics because people don't know in these like smaller sub niches that was a viable business model for what, like 10, 15 years. I mean, it's kind of crazy. So but going back to this, you can use the total number of cards printed, multiply it by the percentage in each respective language. Example, like English, which is like 50%,
You lost a couple $100. Oof.
divided by the number of sets this year and some of the last sets the previous year due to additional reprints, additional reprint waves. And then divide that number.
Oh, then you're fine, Citron.
by the hit rate per pack to hit specific SIR or hit specific chase card essentially. So this is option one. So this is how you do it with option one. You can say, hey, I take the total number of cards printed, multiply it by the percentage in each language. So in English, it'd be 50% of that. Divide that number by the number of sets this year and some of the last sets. So this year would have been close to 8. And then you divide that number again by the hit rate per pack to hit the specific chase card, which I'll go into and I'll show you the numbers behind it. And then 2, here is the other option you can go with. The other option is to basically utilize the PSA. You can take the PSA, CGC, and BGS total graded copies.
Oh, that's good, Citron. I mean, sucks for them, but at least they can afford to. Yeah, it does suck. It's just like something that no one really expected to happen, right?
And it was like a really small patch note thing that just completely cooked the market. Like no one really saw it coming, and it was at the very bottom apparently, and people were just going insane. I multiply it by the hit rate to get the total number of packs per set. Let's add additional percentage of unopened sealed product. Okay, so for option 2, this is basically taking option 1's total essentially, but done via the actual numbers with the grading companies. And then to get the exact number of sealed product, you basically take that number, multiply it by the hit rate, and then you get essentially the total number of packs per set. And then you can also factor in the additional percentage, which is the not counting the not graded cards and the unopened sealed product. Typically, for like I said, for older sets, it's probably somewhere in the range of like 5 to 10%. If you want to be a lot more optimistic, or sorry, more like I guess like realistic, you could probably use 10%. That's sort of how we can get to that. And then the one that I want to talk about is basically comparing the rate of the Umbreon SAR to the Evolving Skies SAR. This one's kind of interesting because the PSA, BGS, and CGC pop report doesn't reflect this number yet, largely because a lot of it stems from people not being able to grade their cards because it's too expensive or it takes too long. So that's why I like sets that are from this year. It's not always accurate to use PSA, BGS, and CGC yet to get the full pop report of how many cards there are because there's just not enough submitted under this time. But you could use that as numbers for older sets because at that point you can kind of predict that most people are not opening up Evolving Skies. Like they're just not going to open up Evolving Skies for the sake of opening it up. It's too expensive. People can't afford it, and the hit rates are pretty trash. So the odds of someone opening up Evolving Skies in this year compared to back then is almost like nearly none. You see like streams and stuff, people opening up Evolving, I get it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's infinitesimally tiny compared to what it was like 5 years ago when that set came out. So a good example is the Umbreon SAR. We can use this as an example. So example, Umbreon SAR from Prismatic Evolutions. So if we take the 10.2 billion multiply it by 0.5, which is the amount of English product out there. That's just for like the English side, okay? You're left with 5.1 billion English cards printed. Okay, so that's like the first amount. Then we take the number of sets that were produced across that year. So the number of sets is going to be a combination of both this year and a little bit of the previous year because you have to factor in all the reprints they're doing for this year as well for like things like Surging Sparks, things like
Are you guys
Stellar
getting all
Crown.
this? Are you guys getting all this?
Does this make sense to you guys?
Because I feel like he's kind of just like rambling. I don't know if I'm getting this either. You
Yes.
guys, Sobel, I know you will get it.
Thank you, Sobel. So, yes, it's just you, Aaron.
I'm just lost
just
in the
you.
sauce.
So you take the number of sets, which is around 8 sets. So you divide it by 8 sets, which then equals a total of 637,000. And I have
just see equations, Lena, you and me both.
CT
Gronk, summarize it for me.
This is how I make, like, this is how I figure out like things in terms of like what to look into, what not to look into.
Just give me the numbers.
So that's the total now. You have a total of 637,500,000 cards across 8 sets. There you go. That's across the 8 sets, okay?
That's including like commons and stuff?
Yes, this is everything essentially. Then you can divide that number.
Can you zoom in a bit? Okay.
200%? Oh, shit. Okay, now we're really zoomed in.
I need to... Oops. Give me 1 second.
Good?
Think so. Yeah.
Okay. This is how you guys get educated on buying cards. It's actually pretty valuable information that I always tell Erin to learn, but she doesn't want to learn it. So I had to do it.
No, it's just you ramble.
This is not rambling. This is literally the math behind it.
You're rambling.
This is not rambling.
I'm falling asleep.
Erin, get your brain into the motion, okay?
No, I didn't even pay attention.
This is the rumbling.
That's what it feels like.
Then you take that number and you divide it by the hit rate. And so the hit rate is to get the exact specific SAR in prismatic evolutions. It is 1 in 1440 packs. So 1,440 packs to hit the exact SAR you want. So you divide that number by 1440, which is the specific SAR.
It's the hit rate, aka the number of set card in existence, to figure its value, Aaron. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. You do this for a living. Why do you think we do this as a business? Which
you got the brain.
Wow.
I just entertain.
And this equals.
Guys, also CT sweating.
It's a lot of math, okay? I gotta think through. When did Pokemon TCG really become more about investment, just collecting, like the big push that shifted people into it? I would say after COVID was probably the era when it got really hot in terms of like investing in it. It started in the early 2019 with Hidden Fates when my friend said it best. The number one catalyst for investing into Pokemon was when the Black Label Hidden Fates Charizard hit $15,000 in a Black Label. This is before the Logan Paul hype in 2020. In 2019, it sold for between like $10,000 to $15,000 for the very first Hidden Fates Black Label. People didn't even know what Black Labels were back then. And so when people saw that and Hidden Fates was already exploding in popularity, everyone's like, what the fuck? Like, I thought only vintage cards like were that expensive. Because even like the regular Zard from like base set was, besides the first ed, that was the only card even remotely close to that level. And so from there, it sort of catapulted into people like, oh, maybe there's like an idea to invest in Pokemon then. And that's sort of when you had a lot of the Wall Street guys, crypto bros, tons of other types of investor types. Now it's like everyone, I would say it's all the normies now. That's when people started getting really into it because they realized that looking at those numbers, it always does this, right? It always goes up. And so that's not a very healthy way to look at the market because not everything goes up forever, obviously. But to them, they're like, oh, wow, it's the first asset class that I've ever seen where all it does is this. And they look at the history, and if it goes like this, any single like tech person or finance guy that sees that will instantly think it's a free money glitch. And so you look at crypto, right? Crypto goes like this all the time, right? Pokemon had obviously its dips as well. Like I've been through like the bear market like in like 2022 to 2024 when it was just dead. But because of like the overall history across like 10 years, 5 years, 20 years, right? It was always steadily doing this going upwards. And that's what I would say is why people start getting into it. And then boom, Surging Sparks hit, and that's when everyone started going crazy. Where now I would feel like any one of your friends, I guarantee you, is an investor in Pokemon. I would say now in this current climate, every other friend of yours is probably has some sort of partial investment into Pokemon, whether they care about the game or not. They are part of the ecosystem, and you cannot push them out. They are here to stay. Um,
No, base set boxes were still expensive.
yeah, they were still expensive, Kuduru. Like they're obviously nowhere close to where they are today, but they were still expensive even back then. In fact, like one of my buddies got super wealthy because he was buying vintage boxes right before 2020 hit. He was telling all his friends, "Hey, buy vintage boxes. It's gonna go crazy." And everyone's like, "Dude, you're an idiot. Like, why would you do that? Like, such a stupid investment, right?" That person now is basically retired because he did that. So
Everyone you described is on Poke investing on
Yes.
subreddit.
why didn't your friend tell me? Sorry, buddy. But going back, this is approximately probably what the exact amount of SARs per per prismatic evolution, which would be 36,890 Umbreon SARs
Specifically Umbreon?
for any SAR. But for Umbreon in particular, this is how many
So
Umbreon
do you think
SARs.
that there's equal amounts of Umbreons
Yes,
and all the other
it's a
ones?
sheet.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't think they short print it like they do in Yu-Gi-Oh. Yu-Gi-Oh has known short printing. I don't think they do that for Pokemon. I think it's pretty because Pokemon's brand philosophy is to be very even Steven.
Mm.
Whereas Yu-Gi-Oh, they love that high rarity chase. They love short printing certain cards. And you can see on a sheet that it's short printed because certain sheets, right? It'll show like the the average, like, you know, ghost rare, ultimate rare, whatever.
Mm.
There are certain cards of the ultimate rares where the really top card is printed less than the other ones. It's like for every like two cards of one ultimate rare, it only show up one for the highest chase one.
Mm.
So Yu-Gi-Oh is known for doing that.
Mm.
But this is basically the number you could sort of use, and this is also, I should say, this is rounded down, by the way. It's a little bit different of a number, but I just use kind of like crazier numbers. So let's take, for instance, Evolving Skies, the Moonbreon, the famous Moonbreon everyone talks about. As comparison, this is for Moonbreon. There are, as comparison to, I should say Moonbreon. There are 26,250 copies at PSA. We can actually show the numbers and I can prove that at PSA. There's 4,090 at BGS and 2,800 at CGC. This equals to a total of 33,140 copies of Moonbreon graded.
No, I get it.
This
I'm
is
just for me, I'm like thinking like how many of that is like cracked and then resubmitted.
So that's what I said. If we assume, this is why I brought this up. This is why math is important. If we assume 5% is regrades / cracked, and I would say that's pretty high, honestly, and 10% is ungraded / still sealed, not found.
Wouldn't it be funny if like they couldn't pay for it because it was upcharged? So it's still sitting at PSA.
Yeah, I mean, it could be. That equals.
I wonder how often that happens.
That
where,
equals.
like, they can't pay for the upcharge.
That equals 34,797 copies left. So the reason why we take 5% is that you got to take this number of 33,140 and multiply it by 95%, because there's probably is a percentage there that is cracked and regraded. And then you factor in that there's still 10% that is probably ungraded, actually like raw copies / still sealed and not found. So like that means they're sitting in sealed product, whether in multiple cases, whatever. That would bring the total to 34,797. This
they are
is
not destroyed.
they're not destroyed.
If they're stolen, they are not getting
Yeah.
destroyed.
And if it's stolen, it's like 1 or whatever, right?
Yeah. How many percentage are error prints?
Very low, like extraordinarily low, Tezu. I wouldn't even like count it as like a percentage, honestly. It's like literally in decimals. This is pretty crazy because if you use the math I used, this was the math of 36,890 Umbreon SARs if we use the math I used earlier, compared to 34,797 copies from Umbreon. Obviously, there's going to be more cards in this prismatic, I would say, because it's printed more. It's a newer set, and this generation just loves to open. But this would be a pretty close representation of taking the exact number via all the grading databases and comparing it to the hypothesized number that I use as like as a math precursor. This is important because if this is, somewhat correct, or like even like pretty much on par with probably what the print one looks like, this is sort of what to expect for a lot of sets. Obviously, like prismatic is a little bit of a different case because it's printed more, so you can take that number and kind of fine tune it for the other sets. Maybe like for instance, like with like Twilight Masquerade, or one of the other sets that's more close to like 24,000 or 19,000, whatever the number is, right? That is pretty nuts. So this is a total of 34,000 Moonbryons. This is the Sumbryon, right? So a little different, but it's a pretty close representation of what it'll probably look like. And the reason why I think this is pretty important is that you could literally apply this to essentially every single thing you can think about, whether that's like Bandai, whether that's Riftbound. What I usually do is that I typically take the comparison of Bandai and use that as a reference point for the smaller TCGs too. So this is Pokemon, and then now you can apply that to all the other ones, like whether it's Bushiroad, Bandai, whatever. The data that I most use for that is that I compare the total market cap of how much Pokemon Company makes, and I compare that to how much the other companies make. So if like, let's say Pokemon Company is $100 billion company and Bandai is like a $1 billion company, you could basically just use typical comparison models and say, hey, if they're this size and they're this size, the print run is probably, like 1/100th the
Is
size.
there
or 1/10th.
numbers like specifically for Pokemon TCG that's like out there instead of just Pokemon the company?
No, they don't. They hide that information.
So how the hell are you supposed to know between the games, the TCG versus like everything else?
Because you can
and the
sort
merch.
of because when you use Bandai's revenue, I'm comparing revenue
Yeah, but
of
even
Bandai
that-
directly to Pokemon directly.
But
Bandai
then even
and
Bandai doesn't
Pokemon-
make any sense because Bandai also has their own like Gunpla and all of their other merch as well.
Yeah, but so does Pokemon. They have video games merch.
Yeah, but then I think that it's completely different.
I don't agree with that because at the same point they have their TCG division, right, that makes a certain amount, and then they have their Gunpla, their merch, everything else, right? That number is a representation of
Yeah, but then
the
also-
aggregate amount of things being
I
pushed
agree
out.
with that, but then I don't know about like, because how long has Pokemon been printing cards for, and then how long has a Bandai been printing cards for? Not as long.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's more accurate because they're gonna print way more than any other TCG.
I think that you should compare the number of like what it was like before they printed TCG, and then what the revenue looks like now, and then see how you can gauge
That's
between the two.
impossible.
I'm just saying.
That's
I'm just
literally
saying.
impossible. Like that's why like this is probably the most reflective like version of what it would look like. And you can literally tell by the math that this math is pretty similar. It's pretty spot on in terms of like if you basically
Well,
utilize
for Pokemon, sure. But like, I just don't know how you could compare this to Bandai because Bandai has so many different avenues as well.
with Bandai.
Yeah.
So Bandai Bandai is very interesting because Bandai
Pokemon probably prints the most cards in the TCG category, right?
100%. It's not even close, Tezu.
Yeah,
They
and
print
then-
way more than anyone, even Magic.
2006 for both Pokemon and Bandai have been printing TCG, but like most of the things that have been sold are mostly Pokemon, no?
What?
Like TCG wise. Like even if Bandai was printing back then, they weren't printing as much as Pokemon is.
No one's printed close to the amount of Pokemon has.
But like, how do you gauge the
except for maybe Yu-Gi-Oh. But then I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh because Yu-Gi-Oh doesn't do a very good job of like showing like they don't have any like recaps or anything.
Bandai did Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh at one point? Did they?
No. Yu-Gi-Oh was always underneath. They're under
Konami?
No. What's the company called? The one that used to do what's the name of the company?
Yeah, WotC printed Pokemon.
Yeah, WotC always printed Pokemon. Bandai never printed Pokemon.
Yeah.
Bandai never did Pokemon. That's completely untrue. Bandai never did Pokemon. WotC did Pokemon until Pokemon took over it.
Yeah, that's why we have those magic cards with like Blastoise and stuff like that.
There are Bandai cards for Yu-Gi-Oh! Kuduru. I know what you're referring to, but Bandai never had the run of Yu-Gi-Oh! That was just like a little collaboration thing. That's not. I know what you're referring to. Those cards are expensive too, by the way. But like, it's always been underneath. Upper Deck. That's right. Upper Deck used to print all the English product for Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes. Until after Duelist Genesis came out, they switched back to Konami because they were doing like scummy things, like basically taking stuff like off the printers and like selling it on the black, whatever. It's a whole different topic. But if we look at Bandai, for instance, right? You have so Bandai is a very interesting product because all their TCG division is that's not TCG.
That's not TCG.
Yeah, that's not TCG. Yeah. So Bandai is very interesting. Konami screwed over my guy, Hideo
What's been the talk of the town today, lads? We're talking about print runs and the number behind it.
Yeah.
CT did his calculations and I'm poking holes at it.
She's trying to poke holes, but she can't.
Well, it's not that. It's just more of like, I'm just trying to ask because I'm trying to see like what would make sense. Like, and if you can actually poke holes, I can actually poke holes at it.
So what's interesting about Bandai too, though, is that with Bandai, it's not like with Pokemon, where there's multiple different facilities.
It's not a TCG. No, Kururu, that doesn't count.
Yeah, it's not a TCG. A TCG isn't. That's called a CCG.
Erin is trying to learn in her own way by putting up counter arguments.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like that's how I understand.
That's what you call a CCG. It's a collectible card game. A TCG is an actual like game you play. CCG is just collecting. They're actually very different. Sounds similar, but they're different. With Bandai, what's interesting about Bandai's unique TCG line is that they don't actually have facilities in the States. They print all the product. I learned that's printed for both English and Japanese is all printed in the facilities in Japan. So that already kind of gives you an idea of why the print runs for these things are pretty tight, because they don't use any other outsourced facilities. They don't have facilities in Europe. They don't use anything in the US. It's all printed in Japan. And on top of that too, Bandai has 6 active card games. I don't really consider one that active, but that's another topic. But you basically have Digimon, OP, DBS, UA, Gundam, and Battle Spirits. Everyone's favorite coveted Battle Spirits. Game is basically dead, but they consider it 6 active card games.
Is that it? I thought they would have more.
A lot of them have died, Aaron. That's why I said active.
Which one died?
Let me put into big capital letters.
No. Which one
6
has died?
Active.
No, which
card
one has
games.
died? Which one has died?
A lot. I don't even know which ones have died. Then you also have what I also saw is that sets are planned months in advance, similar to Pokemon, months in advance, whereas Pokemon is, according to rumors, have 10-month life cycles / planned ahead.
Oh yeah, that's what he was saying. Remember, I was trying to explain it to you guys last time, and I was like, actually, I don't know.
What?
Because I thought it was like you said it was like a few months, but I didn't know the exact amount of months for each of the cycles
Yeah.
for like their printing. So I was like, I'm just gonna let CT talk about this.
Yeah, so that's what they have for that. And then also what I found out was that TCG revenue for Bandai, and I'm surprised they actually had this data, it was 1.9 billion in let's see here, in 2024.
CT is a TCG scholar. He just loves stuff like this.
And OP, so this is OP stands for one, I should say One Piece. And One Piece was 768 million.
Woo!
So
Chow, how much percentage of that was you?
So if you take 768 million divided by 1.9 billion, I mean, that's around like, what is that around? Like 33%, 33 to 40%. It's a pretty sizable amount of the difference. So let's just actually do this real quick. We take what is the amount? 768 million divided by 1.9 billion. Yeah, 40%. So that is literally 40% of the TCG revenue. 40% of TCG revenue. That's actually pretty nuts, because if you compare basically One Piece to the other 6 TCGs, that means between Digimon, DBS, UA, Gundam, and Battle Spirits, the other 60% makes up, the other 5 TCGs makes up the other 60% of the TCG revenue. One Piece is in a whole different category in itself. It's truly, truly.
Is that TCG alone?
Yeah, TCG alone. This is TCG revenue, by the way.
Not just One Piece, the IP.
No, this is One Piece as like the TCG for One Piece. So, it is actually a very, very insane thing. Bro could have just done 768 or 1900, but I'm not gonna hate. Hey, you're right, communist. I'm not very efficient in that regard. So you definitely beat me there.
What do you say?
You said you could have just done 768 divided by 1900, because it's the same thing as 1.9 billion divided by 768 million. But my dumbass can't figure that out. So, so it's I'm the one doing a math degree, so I'll hey, if you're doing a math degree, I didn't study math as like my major. I actually was doing like entrepreneurial studies, whatever that means. But my background's actually in design, but I went to business school too. But anyways, it's like literally 40% of the entire TCG revenue. So that means the last 60% belongs to the other 5. And if I had to guess, between DBS, Gundam, UA, and Digimon, Battle Spirits is probably like nothing. It's probably like 5% tops. And that's probably being polite. Which means the other 55% is between those other 4. And I would argue that probably Digimon, DBS is probably around, I would have to say it's probably around like 20%. And the reason why I believe that is because it's been around much longer. So they probably put more upfront amount into that. But I would probably say that last like 60%.
Battle Spirits was never alive.
Yeah, it was always dead. Never a good game. Of those different franchises, I would say probably, if I had to guess, Digimon and DBS makes up 20% each. So that's 40%. Plus 40% is 80%. 5% for Battle Spirits. So that means the last 15% is split across Gundam and UA. So you're looking at like basically like Gundam and UA being like one of the more newer entries. If I would have to guess, Gundam UA probably makes up 15% of that TCG revenue. That's my guess. Whereas Digimon and DBS is probably 20% each because of longevity of the game. Battle Spirits, we don't talk about it. That's what I would say probably makes up that amount. And so if you can basically grab the percentage or like the revenue of TCG for Pokemon and you compare it against the revenue for Digimon, like Gundam, One Piece, whatever, you could basically take that same kind of amount, the number of packs basically that are produced. So the 5.1 billion cards, and then yeah, cause it's still English and whatever. You could probably take that 5.1 billion cards and just multiply it, by like the percentage of how much that is in comparison to Pokemon. And that will likely give you guys a much better example of what the total print run is. But what is interesting is that when we brought up before with Flesh and Blood, Flesh and Blood's debut set had a total print run of.
You said Gundam didn't exist in 2024.
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, it just didn't exist at all. I think it came out in 2025, Sobble. So actually, you're probably right. Then it's probably even smaller. Gundam probably makes up even less than that 15%. It's probably still going to be pushed more towards UA, and then Gundam. Now that I think about it, it's probably like maybe like 10% UA, 5% Gundam, just because of how small it is.
No, we're talking about the TCG.
Yeah, TCG Kuru. So the debut set for Flesh and Blood had total print of 264,700 boxes between First Ed and Unlimited. And the reason why I think this is also important too, because I don't think for a lot of these new sets, that 264,000, by the way, was done in multiple ways for Unlimited. It wasn't just like one release, like, oh, they had 264,000 boxes hit the market. That was done in multiple releases for Unlimited. It wasn't just like it happened right away. So what I personally think is that if you basically utilize all the math behind this, and like let's say TCG is 1.9 billion, Pokemon's like 100, let's just take like the TCG itself, maybe. What do you guys think would be the total TCG revenue of Pokemon if the total amount for everything in Pokemon is 100 billion? What would you guys think is a ballpark range? So, if you utilize like the ballpark range, what that looks like, you could sort of kind of like mitigate what you think the average amount is here. And Bushiroad's actually even easier because Bushiroad actually tells you the amount that it produces. Bushiroad did $130 million in revenue in 2025. So the reason why I think that's also important, Bushiroad did 130 million revenue in 2025. So this is 14.5 times smaller than even Bandai's TCG revenue. So what I think is really interesting though is that with Bushiroad, I actually do know like how many cases are printed, like, or approximately how many cases are printed. And I've been told this by multiple sources, so it may not be completely accurate, but there's probably a pretty good amount of product that's known. It's around 10,000 cases per
Master or just case?
just cases per product. That's what I've been told from multiple different distros and people that deal with Weiss as a whole.
But it's what is it? What is it? The order thing, isn't it?
What? It's like made to order.
Yeah, made
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah. So
order.
it fluctuates, but that's like usually like around like the average for like for a set in Weiss.
So something like, let's just say for Asher Lane versus something like the Bunny Girl one.
Hmm.
What's the difference? What would be the difference in terms of numbers?
In terms of numbers,
Mm-hmm.
Azure's probably like 15, and then Bunny Girl's probably like 5. So it averages out.
5K?
Yeah, because like the hot sets are ordered like way more, right? So
Right.
it basically like there's certain sets that like outcompete all the other sets by a large margin, but it's usually pretty drastic like that, and that's why it's like the average around each set.
I see what you're saying.
So if you take like 10,000 times 14.5, you get for Bandai, you take this number 10,000, and then you multiply it by 14.5, which is the number for Bandai, like Bandai multiplier. That equals 145,000 cases. But then cases are a little bit different in terms of like how they arrange it. But you're probably gonna get, in my honest opinion, this is across like all their products. So let's say like the average case amount is like times, what is it, 12 boxes per case typically for Bandai products. Take that amount times 12, which equals 1,740,000 boxes in total. And that's like for probably like across all, this is like actually across all the TCGs. So in reality, if you like take the multipliers and you kind of like push it across like all of like Bandai's products, you're probably gonna end up getting left with like no more than, besides One Piece, it's probably gonna be closer anywhere between like 150,000 to 250,000 like boxes like per release essentially. And that's like on like the upper end of the scale, I would say. It's actually probably lower, but that's sort of like how I look at some of like the print runs. Again, like the Bandai one is probably a little bit different because they do things differently and they're much tighter, so that number is actually probably much less. But the reason why I utilize these numbers is because it gives you like a pretty good accurate like representation um, of how much sealed product is actually out there versus how many singles are out there. And what I'm trying to say is I think that a lot of these like high value chase cards, like CPM said, they're, you might look at them as undervalued from the scarcity perspective, but from the like from the actual ability to pay for something, that's a little bit different. But from a pure scarcity perspective, some of these cards are pretty scarce. Because let's say we take, for instance, for Riftbound, I know Riftbound was really tight and like no one's getting a product. So let's just assume that for Riftbound, there are, and the reason why I bring this up too is that, let's say for the very first wave, right? Very first wave, let's talk about reprints or anything like that. Just for the first wave one, you get the printer can produce 100,000 booster boxes, right? The hit rate for a signature showcase card is 1 in 30 boxes, but there are 12 different cards. This would equate to 1 in 360 boxes being opened to hit the
This is a math problem.
to hit the specific signature card.
Don't they have this number though?
No, this number is not publicly available, but I figured this by looking at like the
Oh,
data.
not the booster box. Sorry.
Yeah. So you take 100,000 divided by 360. This is to hit the exact specific SAR. So, sorry, specific showcase signature. Showcase signature. You do the math there. You're talking about 278 copies of that card. If you take, for instance, let's say you change it to, instead of 100,000, let's say option 2 is like closer to Flesh and Blood, which I don't think it's really accurate. But let's say you do take Flesh and Blood's example, which I think is a little extreme. But let's say you do take Flesh and Blood and say option 2 is Flesh and Blood levels, where it's 250,000 booster boxes, right? Even if you do that number again, you do 250,000 divided by 360, you get a total of 694 copies of that card. And by the way, I think this number is not actually going to get hit. I don't think they've actually been able to produce 250,000 boxes of Riftbound. I just don't see that happening. So even on a good day, let's say they reach Flesh and Blood numbers across
Where's
like multiple
Flesh and
ways.
Blood printing their stuff?
I believe Flesh and Blood's in the U.S., if I'm not mistaken.
Do you know which company?
No. You could have a high range of around this many copies of the specific showcase signature card to as low as probably like 278. So if I were a company and I'm in that range, right, you're probably printing out, I would say they want a sweet number, somewhere in the range of like 300 copies of those signature cards. That's why math is really important, and that's why usually I can figure out and predict. I can generally predict why certain products, in terms of like rarity of chase cards, do pretty well, because I do this math a lot of times when I'm trying to think about different products to like quote unquote like buy or look for product for you guys to like chase, because there's so much interesting things around it when you understand like scarcity and rarity. Like if there's only around like 300 copies, right, of quote unquote showcase signature card, that's not a lot of cards, guys. Like 300 copies of like an Ari, 300 copies of a Kaisa, 300 copies of a Misfortune. Like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the top collectors, they literally, and I'm not even joking, they literally have multiple copies. I know one guy that will probably buy 20 copies of Ari. I know one guy alone that will buy 20 copies of Ari. He will do it, and he's done it multiple times before. I just got back. Did CD do the post full formula yet? Only 300 Aris and 3 million Ari addicts in Korea. It means we're cooked. Let's just say that these cards are a lot rarer than you guys think they are. They're not, like, using math, you can figure out pretty easily how rare some of these cards are. And the reason why I bring this up is because I always try to educate people on looking at like the actual reasoning behind why people spend so money on top chase cards. It's not because like, oh, these people are fucking stupid, they don't know anything, like they're just dumb for buying at these prices. Some of them are, I will admit, there are times when it's just like it's way too overvalued where it makes no sense. But some of these cards, you know, they make a lot more sense. And then when you think about it, right, if there's only around 300 copies, an Ari selling for, where is it? An Ari selling for 1345 doesn't sound that insane anymore. Yeah, Ari is 1 in 360 boxes, not packs. 360 boxes. So it is a lot of it's a lot. Like, yeah, it's way cheaper than 300 boxes. So yes, this number probably will come down. It probably will not stay at 1345. It probably will come down to maybe a little bit below 1,000. That's typically how TCGs work, because The average person buying TCG guys don't understand this kind of stuff. They buy because they like something. They don't ever really think about the math behind it. I do, which is what kind of differentiates myself and also my peers from other people buying to buy, right? We take very calculated risks when buying things. And this is some of the reasons behind it outside of just like, other factors like just popularity or like knowing like who's buying what. Part of the game too at the highest level when you're talking about like collecting as a business is knowing who's buying the cards, right? If a bunch of like idiots are buying these cards, I even if the card is really rare, I don't touch it. Reason why I don't touch cards that are bought by idiots is because those same idiots, when they need money, they over leverage, they use too much credit card debt, they do really dumb things and fire sell all the time, which brings down the overall cap of the card. That's why it's really important too to understand approximately who's buying what. And it's not as simple as just like I like a card, I want to spend $1,000. I'm gonna tell you right now, as a more serious for the more serious collectors, unless you're like giga filthy rich and you don't care about these kind of things, knowing who owns cards is one of the most important things for a buyer. It actually probably a lot of times outweighs even how much you like a card sometimes, and that goes against um, traditional, I guess, like knowledge that people kind of feed on social media, which is like always buy what you like, always do this. But I know a lot of people that bought what they liked and they wanted to use it not only as a way to enjoy themselves, but also hedge the investment side. They got cooked because they bought things that other people who are really stupid were buying it and then trying to flood the market, thinking they're super five head, they could just like flip it for like 300% and grade them. Those kinds of people and those kinds of buyers you want to stay far away from if you're looking at cards as like an investment vehicle. Again, like you shouldn't always use cards as an investment vehicle, but if you are and you're that kind of person that utilizes it as a quote unquote hedge, be very careful, not only just by the math behind it, but the people that are surrounded with buying these cards. And that's how I've been able to protect my positions for so long, is that whenever, and I don't tell really anyone this other than like streaming my close friends, um, the way you stay always on top of the game in this hobby is you buy things that one, you really enjoy. Obviously, that's the most important thing. But second is that the people that you're buying with or people that are buying it, they're people who are actually, they care about it and they're not trying to like flip it for like an absorbent amount, or they're like just bad character quality people where they're like facing people lying about comps, lying about this. Do not associate cards you're buying with those kinds of individuals. You will get fisted over and over and over again. And that's why like I will probably make a segment on reels at some point, where we talk about the value of offensive buying versus defensive buying. And basically, the difference between offensive buying and defensive buying is that offensive buying is more like buying into hype and buying like all things that people are trying to pump, right? Like Van Gogh Pikas, all the alt arts, right? That's offensive buying because you're trying to buy into the hype and hopefully that there's another sucker that's willing to buy it higher, right? Defensive buying is more of like you're basically strategizing which items you think are better holds and hedges in the long term. It's more of like the long term mindset. So I try to buy most of the time more defensively. Especially these days, I try to buy more defensive than offensively. Because I'm trying to insulate and protect my asset versus trying to just like outgrow, and like make a flip.
How many Gundam beta boxes do you think were made?
Gundam beta boxes, oh, that's probably tiny as fuck. It's probably super tiny.
I'm
Um,
curious.
is it smart to treat it like a rainy day fund?
Buy dude cards, got it.
I think Cold Brew that if you have the capacity to park money in certain things, it can be for sure. Like we have certain types of products that are definitely more like on the aggressive side, and we have products that are more like on the
But
safe side.
I'm pretty sure though that they said that they're going to print more of the first edition ones.
For what?
Um, Earthbound.
First edition. What do you mean?
I mean, like the first box.
Oh yeah, to kind of get people into like the game and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
they're going to
Yeah.
print it again. They
Yeah.
said that they were going to print it again. The only thing they said was that they're not going to reprint the showcase arts to the like the same showcase arts onto the next like few boxes and like next booster boxes. That's all they said.
Yeah. So like the showcase cards are probably more insulated than other TCGs because, like Aaron said, they're not going to reprint that. They're going to
No,
keep.
they will reprint it
No,
in the
reprint.
form.
No, reprint the artwork in other
Oh
sets.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
The artwork
They
is.
won't pull a Yu-Gi-Oh.
They will not do a Yu-Gi-Oh, guys.
They won't pull
They're
a
not going to do a
Konami.
Konami and reprint that artwork in another set. That is going to be a card, that art
Yeah.
that like stays forever not printed. At least
So like
that's what
this
they
is the
claim.
only art by this artist, or like specifically this type of art for the set.
Buy dude cards, God.
Gundam Beta probably around 30K in US alone. It was super limited. I broke it down in Discord.
Let's see. Gundam Beta.
Where?
Gundam? Go to the Gundam channel? Maybe it was like earlier.
No, he didn't.
Oh. We don't see it right now, CPM. But yeah, I mean, that's sort of like the reason why I wanted to address this, because I knew that it's not always going to be easy for everyone to follow. It's not like a very like sexy topic from the perspective like, oh, it's super hype, like this is such a great like, stream concept. It's definitely a lot more of an educational piece that definitely requires a little bit more, I guess, like listening in and like really kind of like honing in on what I'm saying. But the reason why I do this is because I want people to understand that there is multiple different facets to when you buy products, right? And it's important to understand like the kind of like demand, sorry, not demand, but like more of like the reasoning behind how products are designed. It's actually really beautiful when you understand the whole entire supply chain like that. And when you know that information, it makes it so much easier for you to make plays when you think something doesn't make sense. And that's one thing that Aaron and I get asked all the time is like, how do you guys know like what to buy, when to buy it, like, and then also why are you buying it, right? Like the amount of times people told us like, oh, buying Polaroids were so stupid. Those same people that said that are trying to buy it now because we understood when we were buying them that compared to some of these TCG cards that are hitting stupid numbers, right? With Polaroids, we understood that there's already an intrinsic rarity by being one of one, and it's really hard to break into that space. And also, I know that people are super into the fandom, and so for me, I knew right away that like if I want to grow my quote unquote collection within Polaroids, I have to sell things too. So while I was collecting the kinds of idols that I liked, I also had to pick up idols too that I felt that were super cheap or just didn't make any sense compared to like the open market interest for it.
The only thing that dropped was probably Kiss of Life.
Yeah, I think Kiss of Life was the only Polaroid I ever bought that actually dropped.
Yeah.
And that's saying a lot because I bought a lot of different groups. I bought from XG, I bought like New Jeans, we bought Baby Monster, we bought Blackpink, aespa, every single group, La Seraphim, like Jesus, like you name it, right? We bought all these groups when they just debuted, right? Like there are obviously besides Blackpink. Every other group we bought when they just debuted, and people were just like, how do you know like if like this group's gonna do well, or like what, like why would you pay that kind of amount knowing that like it could just go to shit? And the thing is that like by looking at data like this kind of stuff we're doing today, that's how we find out. Like I always study the trends. I study how fast K-pop groups are growing. If I did an actual podcast properly and I felt like I was in the right kind of audience, I'd actually probably open up a lot of eyes around like the whole space around K-pop too, because numbers and data are like one of the two like they're literally the most important things in determining whether or not something's gonna pop off. And you could say like I got a bias here or I like this person. Like I'm gonna be completely honest. Your opinion does not matter at the end of the day. My opinion does not matter. What matters is what you're looking at and what it looks like on a chart, right? And if you can study that properly and look beyond the emotional side and look at it from the pure data perspective, it's actually pretty easy to tell when certain groups are going to explode. Um, there's a group I'm actually eyeing right now. I probably shouldn't even say it on stream because I think it's like kind of stupid for me to say it, but I'll say it anyways. Um, there's a group in Japan right now that I think will become one of the biggest groups ever, like in the entire music industry. Their name is Hana. Um, they're run by Changmina, and she's like literally breaking all the stereotypes in Japan right now as kind of being like a more plus size singer, and has a very dark and like raspy voice. Her group Hana, that came out of a debut a debut program, like a survival show. Uh, she took basically all her group is made up of people who don't fit a traditional like K-pop stereotype of like being like thin, like super pretty, like feeling that kind of like typical aesthetic. They're trying to grab a different market size. And I shit you not, within 6 months, they're already at 1.5 million followers on YouTube alone. That's just YouTube. I think that in the next coming years, you're going to see an astronomical rise from them. And these are the kind of things that I get really interested in listening to, because I also not don't just like look at like the growth, but I also look at their music. And I think like their music is very unique and very different. And those are the kinds of things that I think also make for a great storyline. And so that's why I always try to correlate all the fandom that I enjoy and like, and then also apply it from a business perspective, because you can take your passions and take the things that you enjoy and also make money off of it too while enjoying it. And that's like the best feeling. I wish more people understood that, because you could turn a lot of your passions into businesses and grow them like very, very, not, sorry, not very quickly, but you could grow them in a very good manner where you could supply all your interests just by knowing that kind of information. And I try to do my best to educate people in that category. Unfortunately, it's usually not very looked at very favorably, because people just like to degen a degen, and I get that too. But this is how you can degen even more and make even more, so you can degen more. And I try to always explain that. But um, K-pop groups get 3 to 10 million investment before they even debut. Their companies will for sure drop another 2 million without. I love them for their Frank Sinatra TikTok videos. Yeah, I think like these are the kinds of topics again that they may not always be like the most like again sexy to talk about on stream, but I think it's really important to cover. And hopefully, if whoever is like watching, you guys enjoy this. If you guys don't, feel free to let us know too. I know it's not really Aaron's cup of tea, but it's what I really enjoy,
I
because
wish you would make it pretty and make it into a
that's too much work.
pretty presentation.
It's too much work. If you want to do that, you can do that. But like, I don't have the capacity and time to do that while juggling a billion other things. But I just want to sort of explain at least the importance of that, because this applies to everything that you can do. You can apply this to your business. You can apply this to your work. There's so many different opportunities everywhere. You just have to know where to find them. Stop giving our secrets.
I get all excited too. We should just make a YouTube video out of all of these.
Yeah, we can turn this stream into a YouTube video easily. But these are the kinds of things that like we'll be covering more even on our reels and stuff like that. So I'm not
Zitron, if you're not interested in TCG, like what makes you keep coming back? I'm actually really curious. Like what is something that
Cool Brute says don't skip this
Oh
song.
my god, what is it? Let me see if I want to skip it.
And that's coming from someone listening at
That's
5 a.m.
crazy.
Damn.
The vibes, really? Just the vibes?
Damn. I appreciate it, Zitron.
Thank you, Zitron.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you, Zitron. That's so sweet.
Excel FOMO can't miss out on the CT moment. Again, like we always try to like layer the really fun degenerate moments with also some education in between. So like we also know too, like even from like a fun meter, right? This is definitely on like the lower end of the spectrum for sure. Like we're very well aware of that. But I do think that streams need to have like a healthy balance of like complete chaos and degeneracy. I wish we could do it every stream, but I feel like if we do it every stream, it also lose some of the luster that we bring. So it's a nice like a little bit of a break in between. And again, tomorrow we will have probably Gundam. So tomorrow's gonna be the complete degen stream. That's when you guys can just go ham, do whatever the fuck you guys want. Say as many crazy things as possible. But this stream is more for like the, you know, that side of the ballpark. But you know, that's pretty much what we have for today, though. My opinion on Twitch, just chatting. Each viewer is choosing the stream instead of porn or Netflix.
Oh my god.
Oh God. But you know, Excel's not fully wrong. There's a lot of people that literally do that, and it's like their higher moral stance where it's just like, yeah, but I'm not watching porn.
No maternity leave tomorrow? Wait, we're streaming tomorrow?
Well, we're getting Gundam tomorrow.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting Gundam tomorrow.
We're supposed to get Gundam tomorrow. If it gets pushed to Thursday, I guess that'll happen, but it is very likely coming in tomorrow. And if that does happen, we are definitely going to rip Gundam. So, um, for anyone who wants to have first dibs on the Gundam rips, again, let us know. I think everyone in tier 3 already got to see, so it's going to be open to everyone. Whoever's just first on the list can open up Gundam. What is Aaron showing?
Stephen Bartlett brand nears $500 million valuation.
Mm.
That's the guy that does the podcast of Diary of a CEO.
Mm.
His brand nears $500 million valuation, and I think he started it during like COVID.
That's crazy. That's actually insane levels of growth. I forgot who said this, but all these streaming services are just fighting for people's time.
Yep,
Mhm.
it is. It is.
Yeah.
That's why time is a commodity.
Yeah. And so, like, we also know too, like, we tell everyone on stream as well, like, not every stream we do is going to be like the most interesting to you or that individual, and that's okay too. Like, if it like you are in a position where it's just like, I rather, you know, watch this or learn this, like, that's totally fine. Like, we don't take any offense to it. Like, if you guys like, you know, want to tune out, that's a-okay. It's fine with us, you know. I think a lot of people put too much premise on like, you have to stay, you have to do this, like, you got to do this. Like, dude, we all know everyone has lives. We all know everyone wants to watch what makes them happy. Some people, all they want to watch is, you know, opening up product all day, and that is perfectly fine. It's really fun. I get it. It's a nice high, right? Some people prefer like the educational side. Like they like watching like co-working streams and they just want to chill and like learn like new things, right? Like everyone has a different tempo, and sometimes people even interchange between those tempos, right? So it's uh it's definitely very interesting. And some people just want to watch drama. Like drama is a huge thing, so that's a huge topic as well. Shrugs, I was watching Emiru accusation stream, and in the background I wanted to see if anyone actually finishes an emote period. You wanted to see a pyramid of emotes. Go crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much the topic for today, though. I mean, we didn't really have much. People try to complete them. Excel. There's always that one guy that fucks it up, though. There's always that one dude who's just like, you know what? Like, let me put like one little emote amongst the tower or like amongst the pyramid. And it just fucks up the entire.
I don't have a
aesthetic of
life.
it.
This stuff is type of content deep discussion.
Yeah. So these are the kinds of conversations that I have with a lot of my big collecting friends. It's really hard to explain this stuff sometimes to people that don't care about it or people that like, you know, don't have like a
Damn, it must suck to just have emotes
Jesus Christ.
in your chat.
That's ridiculous.
Like it's not adding to the conversation or anything like that.
But yeah, these are the questions that we get asked probably the most on our Instagram. These kinds of questions. People actually care a lot more about this stuff than the actual like price of cards, believe it or not. They want to know like why they're buying or they're selling certain things.
Also, guys, this thing sold out so quick.
Oh, I didn't even get it.
CT couldn't get it.
I was mid buying it and it said, "Oh, sold out." I was already on the checkout and it's checking out and it's just like, "Oh, we can't put it in the cart anymore."
But what I don't understand is I don't understand how to get the Riftbound, the portal icon, and the Riftbound emote. I went on my league and it wouldn't do it.
It's supposed to be linked to your
I did, but
it's probably gonna come December 15th because the ship date's December 15th. That's probably what's gonna happen.
No, it said something about. I'm just excited about
You just
that
want the
Panda
Pandatimo
Timo
card.
promo card. I'm gonna keep on and
That's all
sell the
Aaron
other one.
wants. Yeah, I think the Pandatimo card's gonna be quite desirable.
Hell yeah, it is.
Pandatimo, Pandatimo.
That's actually pretty cool.
The Swift Scout.
Wee, my little Timo.
See, this is what Aaron enjoys. Aaron enjoys looking at the artwork.
My little Timo.
Less about the numbers, more about the artwork, the pretty colors. She's a very, if you can tell, Aaron is definitely more the artist type. I'm also a designer, so I should be more like that, but I'm definitely lean more towards the business side of design for sure.
That's why he was a better product designer than I was. Yeah, he was better. I was better designer though.
Yeah, she was a better designer, but in terms of like product, I was way better.
Yeah, you were better at product. He was so good at product, guys. Like he could make product decisions so quickly. I have an Erin question. Will she go to theaters for Studio Ghibli releases or Jujutsu Kaisen in December? I'm thinking of going for Jujutsu Kaisen,
JJK, yeah.
but probably not for Studio Ghibli.
Because you already watched all of them, right?
Yeah, I already watched all of them. I don't feel a need to go for it. Will she bring
An
air freshener spray? Probably not, unfortunately. Maybe I'll bring a mask, you know?
Maybe.
But to be very honest, I should have just moved if it was bothering me that much. I sat there for like almost 2 hours just thinking this guy is annoying and smelly. I should have just moved. There was a lot of seats.
I mean, it is what it is.
But I kind of wish, this is the toxic side of me coming out. I kind of wish CT was sitting closer to him so he could have smelt it.
Oh my god.
Because sometimes he was like, you couldn't smell anything. And then he would move a little bit. And then he would smell it.
He makes me smell the stuff.
Wow. I swear to God, I think I was body blocking for him. He said he didn't smell it.
Oh,
that thing was a stanker.
Do you want to talk about also the potential IRL opportunity?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I wanted to. Stinky creature.
We were asked.
We're invited to something. Can we just say it?
What?
We can just say it, right?
Which event are you talking about? You wanna pause it real quickly?
Yeah.
Okay.
I invite you both to Portland. Aw, Josh, you're so sweet. We can stay over? Thanks.
Party up, bobbies.
Does the thing you're invited to smell bad potentially?
Yeah, potentially. You wanna explain what it is?
Invited to Spidey's League game. Ugh. Okay, so we were invited to an Azuki event. So we think they said that we could stream it.
No, they said that we can definitely stream it.
Oh, okay. So
confirmed.
Yeah, so there's confirmed that we can stream Azuki. So it's Azuki TCG. Azuki is an NFT. Started off as an NFT. They did like I guess they did their own like little anime thing. And then they also have their own TCG coming out. And the alpha is out right now. And we can do a test run for that.
And if, very unlikely, but if Aaron and I actually win that event, we actually were playing in the event, by the way. If we win that event, we get invited to their big invitational event, which apparently you can win 10 grand if you win first. So, pretty wild.
This is Azuki trading card game.
I still don't know too much
Time
about the
to get
details.
good.
Yeah, time to get good apparently, but I don't know too many of the details of like what to expect in the card, or like what to see. But like the artwork for Azuki is fucking fantastic. They do like really cool shit.
Oh no, too many words. No,
Aaron's
absolutely
gotta read.
not.
Aaron's gotta read.
No. It's
But
over. It's
um,
over.
we did get invited to this event, so we will be going to the Azuki event, which will be, I think it's the beginning of next year.
Don't look at the words, look at the pretty cards. Yeah, so this is their Azuki, like the brand.
They do some of the best artwork,
Yeah,
guys.
I
I'm
will
not even
say.
capping. I know like people like are anti NFT and stuff, but like their shit is so nice.
Yeah.
Like the amount of detail that goes into all their videos and everything, it's so cool. Like, look at that. Sheesh.
Is there a way to sneak in or is it invite only?
Unfortunately, it was invite only, chow.
Yeah.
It's a private event. Apparently, they had to pull strings for us to get in there. And you know what we're getting to, Aaron?
What?
Apparently, we're getting this.
This?
Yeah.
The starter deck?
Yeah, apparently we're getting the alpha starter deck too as part of being part of the event. Which looks
shit.
fucking epic. I don't know if that's true, but that's what a contact said. So pretty nutty. Oh, by the way, this is really cool.
Oh yeah, let me
Standing in front of the gate,
Like the animation behind
I
this
think
is
of the
so
day
nice.
you disappeared. Life was hard growing up, but you always took care
This
of
is like
us.
super high quality.
You kept me safe, whatever it
Alright,
took.
listen.
Then, you found the garden. You told me stories of the world beyond the gate, the relics you
You
found
know what
there.
it sounds like? It sounds like Avatar.
Yeah.
But what really
It's very
mattered was that we could
Avatar-esque.
sell them to get by. Things got better. Until you found the sword. You told me it was dangerous, but it spoke to me. I thought it could get me into the garden too. I should have listened to you. Maybe the shadows wouldn't have come. You fought them back through the gate. And then you were gone.
Dun, dun, dun.
They came for the sword. They took you too. I kept waiting for you to come back. Maybe you just lost your way. Weeks became months, and months became years. You never returned. Then one day, the sword reappeared. And with it, my way into the garden.
The bean.
I took the red bean and went through the gate. Now, I could see the garden for myself and find out why you never came back. This world is amazing. Your stories were all true. But there was one thing I could never have expected.
Oh.
The bad girl.
Ryzen, what have you become?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's actually pretty cool.
Chow said if they happen to have this on sale, could you get me one pretty please?
Well, it's actually really nice.
Oh.
Oh shit.
Hey, that looks like the cloud sword.
The Buster Sword.
Yeah.
Buster Sword. Yeah, there's so many different TCG guys now. Like we didn't like the thing is like I don't know how well Azuki will do against all the other like big names coming into the space.
Mm-hmm.
But if Azuki can throw a lot of money together to make and then also build a beautiful game, I mean, I don't think they'll ever be like the tier 1 TCGs, but it might be a kind of a cool like side TCG to kind of like dabble with. But
That guy looks like the cowboy bebop thing.
it's a very uphill battle for them to compete with every single other TCG. And the crazy part about me saying this too is that like even with Azuki having a massive fan base in the NFT world and like the crypto space,
And a ton of money.
yeah, and a ton of money. I mean, a shitload of money. It's still an uphill battle. And even in the grand scheme of things, games like Grand Archive are still much bigger than this still, you know? and so it has a lot of things to definitely, I guess, get over. But they can compete even to a smaller degree. That would be really cool. Aaron and I are just excited to be part of the event.
Yeah.
We're just there to see the event, honestly. Like we thought it was really cool. So like, fuck it. Like we'd love to see like the Azuki event. But there's a lot of things that definitely has to do to compete at the highest level because there's so many IPs now that are just so strong. Like, I mean, look at Riftbound. That's literally League of Legends right there. Like that's like one of the biggest IPs in the entire world. And even Riftbound is going to have a difficult time breaking into like that tier 1 group. I think they will, but it's going to take time for them to really put a,
I want to show you guys what the cards look like, but
you can show right there.
I know, but it's just not big.
Wait, what? They have signature cards too. Oh god. Oh god. They have Siggy cards too. Oh, guys, they have Siggies as well. Actually, that looks really nice.
But is it like where? Okay.
Where's what?
Who signed it? It's
The
that
artist.
person's name.
The artist, yeah.
No, it says Mizuki. So it's supposed to be that person, that character.
Is it not the designer?
No, it says Mizuki.
But Mizuki could be the designer name.
No, but that's the card name. Look.
You know, some of the former cards that people did where the name of the character and the name of the artist are the same.
I highly doubt it though. In this case.
Let's see.
Wait, is it gone?
Oh, right here. Oh. The Sorino Rin card's really cool. The water chick.
Alternate alt art cards from the alpha set.
Oh, he's the one running everything.
This guy?
Yeah.
Mm.
He's the one who makes the Azuki TCG.
Making Azuki TCG, previously Tencent Games, Timmy Studios, Riot Games, and Ubisoft. Damn.
What an insane lineup. Tencent, yeah. Jesus. Yeah, I will say the one thing about Azuki that they did better than every other NFT was that they created a very strong community built around incredible artwork.
Oh, the core creator of Azuki, former character art director for Overwatch. Damn.
Like I said, guys, these new TCGs that are coming up, they're not built by like nobodies. Like I know back in the day, like we like to rag on like MetaZoo and like how bad it was. And,
it was bad.
And it was bad, right? These new ones, they're not that kind of caliber. Like this is like top tier individuals, like people who have like some of the best backgrounds in the space, worked at some of like the highest levels at other studios. This is not a joke anymore, as in like even like for the new ones, the barrier to entry is so high now because the quality that people produce is just at an all-time high.
And there's actual money in it now.
Yeah, there's legitimate like money being poured into it. Like I already know for a fact that like a lot of these things like people are just willing to throw down.
This guy plays
watch.
OP as well.
Yeah, just to watch like the game explode. So it's so wild. Oh, is that RWT?
Oh, this is at RWT, yeah.
Looks cool.
Interesting.
I'm excited.
I'm excited to just be part of it.
That's a cool holofoil card.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited to just be part of the event and be able to see it. We'll really see everything put.
But
put
there's
into
no
action.
texture, is there?
I think there is.
Sheesh.
Jesus. All right. But that's pretty much it for today, guys. So, we don't really have much else to cover. Aaron's just looking at random stuff. You know, I appreciate you guys sitting through the session again. We're supposed to do it yesterday, but can I share a short from the Derby Sunday? Ooh, sure.
Never enough cardboard.
Yeah, there's too much cardboard out there. All right, there. All right, Zitron.
Why is it on fire?
It's not on fire. Is it on fire?
There's smoke.
Oh shit, it is. What the fuck? What the fuck? Did one of the flags catch on fire or something?
I don't get it. I don't really get it.
Oh, it's flares. It's just flares.
Gotta celebrate.
Mm.
Nice.
Litty.
Are you celebrating right now then?
Yeah, how happy are you on a scale of 1 to 10, Zitron? How happy is your celebration?
Nice.
Yes?
Nice.
Oh, yeah. 100? Oh, he's really happy then. Hey, as long as you're happy, Zitron, that's what we care about. So,
yes.
okay. Let's figure out who to raid.
Who is
Who is doing that? You know, let's send it over to... Oh, I'm going to send it to them.
Oh, yeah.
All right. We're going to send it over to our buddies, our literal buddies at SoCal Buddies.
Buddies!
The buddies themselves. So, send it over to them. I don't know what they're
Bought a
ripping
Wing
right
Gundam
now.
Zero today. CT still waiting on yours from PSA. We have a Wing Gundam Zero in PSA.
Wing Gundam Zero. We'll talk about that. Okay. So we're gonna raid SoCal Buddies. Thank you again, guys, for coming through. I know today was more of a very information dense stream. Again, we try to combine both the. Yeah, Aaron said it's boring, but I know it's not everyone's cup of tea. I'm well aware of that. I just think that it's good to have streams like this too, where they are like educational. You are getting something out of it.
I enjoyed the Spidey content. What's Spidey content?
The lack thereof, you mean? But yeah, it's use the hobby to fund the hobby. Correct.
True. The TI-84
Trimmer,
content.
you're about to head back to your favorite stream.
No.
You're about to go back to where you were.
Yeah, we're going to SoCal.
You're going to SoCal Buddies. They are opening up. What are they opening up right now? They're opening up
AL2, EBO3, GDO2. There's your GDO2.
There's
But we are
GDO2.
gonna have GDO2 tomorrow.
Tomorrow. We'll have it.
So if you guys are interested, let us know. I guess. How many boxes?
10.
10 boxes.
We have 10 boxes, so there's plenty for everyone to rip tomorrow. We'll have plenty of GDO2. It'll be a good time, you know. I'm sorry that it came in a little bit later, but again,
it is what it is.
We're getting shafted over and over again, trying to do something. We also have another interesting product coming in. I cannot talk about it, unfortunately, but you guys will be very surprised when we get it.
I hope you guys like it.
I hope you guys like it. It is.
We spent money on that.
It is the first of its kind, by the way, the very first of its kind. But you guys will see it when it comes out. Yes, it is very, very unique. No, you've never seen it before. But anyways, guys, bye.